And good morning. Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us on this Tuesday, September the 22nd. Yes, indeedy. We thank you for being with us. Again, day number 144 of our Fun and Frolic. And your Christmas countdown, if you care. We're down to 93 days to Christmas 2015. Why would we tell you that? I don't know. We just do. And again, appreciate you being with us yesterday. It was an abbreviated show today, a full throttle, full 3 hours of fun and frolic. Got lots of folks lined up to talk about, a lot of different topics to talk about. Yesterday, we can tell you now, we parked the show, and a dear friend of mine, we spent 20 years together in the broadcast booth, and he lost his mother, my buddy Rick Spivey out of Kingsport, the attorney, and we did Dobbins Minute for 20 years together. And so he lost his mama, and the thing I needed to do, where I needed to be, and I was, of course, at the funeral. So that's where we were yesterday, and we appreciate the patience, and we're back ready to go with a show here today. And let's see, coming up, we're going to be checking in with Coach Vanhill. Kevin Vanhill is going to join us here in a few minutes from Science Hill as they won the regional championship. Hit it. Again, Science Hill wins it, and so they'll move on now, representing this area as a team to the state golf tournament. And we'll talk to him coming up a little bit later on. Also, a national champion again in our region. Again is the key word. The cycling program at Milligan College, again, crowned national champion again, which is really, really cool. We're going to be talking to the coach, Zach Nave, coming up here a little bit later on to the show. Also, we got our buddy Richard Issacs will join us, and he'll be along, of course, with the quiz show a little bit later on. Got some other folks lined up and ready to go as well. So we say good morning to you on this Tuesday. Again, 93 days to Christmas, and this is show number 144 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and we love it, and we thank you for being with us. Monday Night Football, man, oh, man, oh, man. 5 turnovers. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts look like a high school team. The Jets were not that good a team. They're okay, but they're not world beaters, but made themselves look that way. What was it, 20-7, the final score last night, Monday Night Football. And, again, not a very good outing to say the least for the Colts. And, again, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, 15 catches, 198 yards, a couple of touchdowns, all coming from Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is the temporary, I guess, Band-Aid for this Jets offense till Geno White gets back. But, tell you what, 15 catches, 15 out of 21, 198 yards, a couple of touchdowns. So the Colts scored the fewest points in the National Football League through 2 games. 21 to be exact, 8 less than the Vikings and 13 less than the Eagles and the Redskins. So a franchise that folks said going into the season may be challenging to get into the Super Bowl, the AFC side, and as Lee Corso would say, not so fast. They are not a very good football team right now. And so there's been tons of discussion about the future of the coach of the Colts. Obviously, he is not getting it done. And so, anyway, 20-7 the final, and things not looking good right now for the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, it's early, 2 weeks into the season, but still. Let's see. Ravens, if you're playing in a survivor pool and you're still alive, you're probably lying. Week 2 was a bloody affair for those playing in such contests. Of course, the Eagles lose to the Cowboys. Colts lose to the Jets. Dolphins lose to Jacksonville. Wow. Ravens lose to the Raiders, which I come to expect. I don't think it's going to be a problem. We're going to the Super Bowl. And then the Saints lose to the Buccaneers. And so, anyway, Jets win at 20-7, and the Colts look like a whimper of a team they once were. And so not a good night last night in Indianapolis for the Colts on Monday Night Football. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us. Some NFL news to pass on to you, of course, and that's kind of our segment here on this one's the NFL. And let's see. Some of those would be in Cleveland on Sunday, so they're scared. I can tell you what's going on up there right now in Cleveland. They are scared to pieces because you know who's coming to town. The boys right up here are coming to town. And so they are scared to be jillikers out of them because the Raiders are coming. And so as a result of that, they're going to go with Josh McCown over Johnny Manziel. I don't get that at all. I mean, Manziel struggling. His off-field problems, it's been well documented. So this guy is making a comeback. Had a pretty good game against Tennessee, all things considered. But 28 on the board against a Titan defense is not all that bad. But anyway, Manziel and hardly perfect, as the story says here, but certainly worth the performance. Give him another shot. as a Browns starter, but they're not. They're going to put, again, McCown in to start against Josh McCown to start against the Raiders on Sunday. So for the Browns, maybe a little bit of a quarterback controversy. Of course, McCown suffered that injury back in week 1, and so he's still finally being cleared from concussion protocol. And so, anyway, Josh McCown will be the starter on Sunday instead of Johnny Manziel for the Cleveland Browns, and I don't know how that'll go with the Browns fans, but I know Johnny Manziel probably is not too excited about that. But, one never knows. You're a play away from going right back in. Look at Tony Romo, who's out. Look at, on the local scene, Justin Bedard, who's out. So you're only one play away from going back in anyway. But, again, Johnny Manziel probably from an ego standpoint wanted to be the starter, and quite frankly, I think he's earned it. But not so, says the Browns management, and so he'll be the backup on Sunday with, again, Josh McCown starting against my boys, the Silver and Black, the Raiders. This show each and every day is dedicated to the man who hung on the cross. I unashamedly tell you that. Today's verse of the day to get our show started comes out of the book of Psalms 121. Look up, your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. I will not let your foot slip. I watch over you day and night. I will keep you from harm both now and forevermore. How about that? I'll watch over you day and night. I'll keep you from harm. I will not let your foot slip, both now and forevermore. How about that? That's pretty comforting, I would think, in this day and age to know that the Lord himself is saying that. So that is the verse of the day out of Psalms 121, verses 1 through 8 to be exact. Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Tuesday. Again, we welcome you and thank you for being with us. We got lots to talk about. High school polls are out this week. The college football matchups, top 25, who's playing who, what kind of good football games will be out there this week. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a little while. We get into our college segment. More on the NFL. Let's go to this story coming out of Washington. They're not speaking. RG3 and Kirk Cousins, the quarterbacks, can't even be in the same room. Now, what does that do for the morale of a football team? You got your two quarterbacks, grown men, getting both paid pretty well, obviously. Things going a little too well with the Redskins. They're 1-1 after thumping the Rams on Sunday. Could be 2-0. But again, how is it to have Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins, who don't speak, can't even be in the same room? Simply put, says, who's saying this? Jason Cole, who covers the Redskins, says they don't talk, they don't speak to each other, they don't communicate, they can't even be in the same room as each other because of the tension that exists between the two sides. So, for them to even be 1-1, I mean, this has been a sideshow the whole cotton-picking preseason. Now it's spilled into the regular season for the Washington Redskins. Somebody's got to step up there, and I guess they have and said, Cousins, you're our guy. Cousins at one point praised Griffin for being incredibly professional about the whole process. That's all gone away. Some have said that RG3 has no leadership skills. Well, that's not totally been proven. So, anyway, they ain't speaking, as they say back home, and they've got hurt feelings in the locker room for the Washington Redskins, and that has to hurt morale. Has to. You got a bunch of guys trying to bond and blend together and win football games. You got your two quarterbacks can't even be in the same room. They're not even speaking to each other. That's not good for morale for the old football team, no question. What else going on? Drew Brees says he'll be ready to go in week number 3. Drew Brees has been out, of course. Saints quarterback Drew Brees with that shoulder problem says there's a reasonable possibility he'll play this week versus the Panthers. Brees' status for week 3, Brees' status for week 3 is very much up in the air due to his rotator cuff injury, but he's not ready to roll himself out just yet. Brees' participation or lack thereof in practice this week will likely be a key factor in whether or not he is ready to go and take the field against the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. So he says he's going to play. Of course, he's got to be cleared by the medical staff for the Saints. But, again, with that shoulder problem, he says, I'm ready to go, and we'll see if he can do it for the Saints, who obviously need him. Cowboys need a backup quarterback. We were taping the Sean Witten show today, which we just finished and got it ready to go to be ready to go tomorrow, thanks to our producer, Robert Kale. And so Robert, who's a big Cowboys fan, said, I got to get out of here. I got a flight to Dallas. I said, really? He said, yeah, Jerry called me, and I'm going to be the backup quarterback. I said, really? Okay. So, and jokingly, of course, but Cowboys need some help. They are hanging with Brandon Weeden right now. And, according to some folks from ESPN, if Weeden goes down, Joseph Randall or even Darren McFadden, the former Raiders running back who's now running back for the Cowboys. Either one of those guys could be a backup quarterback if need be. McFadden, 3 passes in his career, thrown for a touchdown pass on a halfback option with the Raiders back in the day. So here's my question. It's the National Football League. This is not the CFL or pick another league. This is the NFL. Please tell me why you can't find quarterbacks to back up the starters, and you have to look at backing up the starting quarterback, or in this case, the substitute quarterback with a running back in the National Football League. I mean, really? I mean, why can't you get – there's got to be enough quarterbacks out there in the quarterback pool, per se, to find somebody they can sign to either bring them out of the closet or brush off the cobwebs and the dust and put them back in as somebody who's been there, is retired or semi-retired. I don't get it, but they're even talking about using Darren McFadden. Then the governor of Texas kind of jumped on board and told Jerry Jones, either directly or indirectly through the media, you need to sign Tim Tebow. Why would you not? So I don't understand. Well, I do understand why he doesn't get signed by people. He proved himself in preseason with the Eagles. They didn't take him. Look at Sam Bradford. You know, how about that? Was it song Toby Keith sings, How Do You Like Me Now? So Tebow could be saying that to the Eagles because they cut him right before the season starts, and they're sticking with Sam Bradford and the other quarterbacking crew, which they're not a very good football team right now. They're 0-2, and they're really struggling. So what would be wrong with Tebow? I mean, there's some other guys out there as well that you can pick up, but you got to use running backs possibly as backup quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, for the Cowboys. So anyway, and of course McFadden can run a wildcat play, and he can throw. As I said, he threw a touchdown pass and a halfback option for the Raiders back in 2013. But I don't understand why there's not more quarterbacks to pull from, or why they're not out kind of combing. And maybe they are. They just can't find them to their liking. But when you have to relegate yourself to running backs throwing the football in a backup situation in the National Football League, to me, that's not a good thing. But that's just me. College football coming up. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Talking about the streak, or actually they're not talking about the streak down in Knoxville. The streak, of course, a losing streak by the Tennessee Volunteers against the Florida Gators. Butch Jones downplaying the streak. You can't downplay the streak. The streak is the streak. And people know about it. And we'll get into that in a moment, where he's telling these guys, we're not really talking about the streak. And, I'm not sure the guys know about it. I'm thinking, Butch, come on, buddy. I know they know about it. I'm going to double-check, make sure I read that correctly, because they know about it. They hear about it all the time because Florida's one of the big rivals. So unless they live under a rock, how would they not know they've lost 11 in a row to the Florida Gators? But anyway, he's downplaying the streak. Downplaying it, I'll give you that, but just not even addressing it like it doesn't exist. We can't do that. These guys aren't stupid. They read the media and they listen to the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and so they understand that there's a hump they must get over in this rivalry between the two. Let's see. Something never occurred. Criticism of Jerry Jones. Let me read this story coming out of the Associated Press. Here's something that never occurred before now. All the criticism of Jerry Jones during his run with the Cowboys is something he's embraced. Why? Because it makes him a lot of money. That's pretty much what he said on a nationally syndicated sports show. Asking about the criticism he's received, Jones said he hardly worried about negative feedback. Says the criticism of the Cowboys has enhanced the value of his team. I must tell you, quote, that the negative part of this is not enough to keep me awake at night, says Jerry Jones. And there's no doubt in 25 years with the Dallas Cowboys that the criticism of me individually, the criticism of our franchise, the criticism of our activity has enhanced not only the value but the attractiveness of what we've done. Apathy would be my nightmare, says Jerry Jones. So Cowboys are by far and away the most valuable franchise in all of sports. They've blown up in value because people care deeply about the Cowboys. Even when Dallas is 8-8, they're the most discussed team in football, says Jerry Jones. So anyway, that's the story coming out of Dallas. He says, I'm fully aware that when we get talked about and criticized, and I get criticized, it brings attention to my football team. And, again, it actually grows the value of our team, and that's probably a truism. The more you talk about it, more folks go, maybe something about this, and so they go check it out. And so that's what he's talking about here. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. We talked about the game this week for the Tennessee Volunteers on the road at Florida to battle the Gators. Both football teams, of course, unranked right now. But again, a big backyard battle nonetheless in the Southeastern Conference Eastern Division. We'll take a break, come back, we'll talk about that very topic. And again, big player that Butch Jones needed, amazingly enough, is coming back this week. Decided to lift the suspension and put him back into the fray. We'll have all that for you coming up as the show rolls on here on this Tuesday on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Trucks, 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 and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Issacs says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of health care, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Issacs today at 247-6134.
Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Tuesday. We thank you for being with us. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Of course, you can find us at TomTaylorSports.com, where we are. Breaking story, interesting timing, how this comes to us as we are talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Before we get into the Tennessee Volunteers, breaking story, Terrell Owens says he wants to come back and play for the Dallas Cowboys. Owens, newly Hall of Fame eligible and thus 5 years removed from football, trying to get back in. Thanks to injuries that the Cowboys suffered in the first 2 weeks of the season, there's a lack of talent out there in the skill position, and so they are looking around, and he says, I want a chance to come back and play football. There were some things said when they're where it kind of may have fractured the relationship between myself and Whitten and Romo. You think there, Terrell? You think so, buddy? You popping off, run that mouth. Again, time has passed, and hopefully they know I've moved on beyond that, and hopefully they have. For me, it's all about giving myself an opportunity. That's all I really ever wanted. Dallas has Whitten as the top remaining pass catcher on the roster. Dez Bryant hurt. Now that Romo is down, Brandon Whedon could need some help on the offensive end of things. Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley are nice weapons, but elite receivers, no. Terrell Owens is 41 years old. Now, there's also earlier in the season, Randy Moss said he'd like to try and come back and play for the Raiders or for somebody else. So now Owens is making it he's serious about it. It's not just cutting up and talking. He is dead serious. He wants to try and come back and help the Dallas Cowboys. But again, if you remember, at one point he was what I would call a clubhouse or locker room cancer. Kept things stirred up. And he says here, quote, we all know what happened when I was there. There were some things said where it kind of may have fractured the relationship between myself and Whitten and Romo. Again, time has passed, and hopefully they know I've moved on beyond that, and hopefully they have moved on beyond that. For me, it's all about giving myself an opportunity. That's all I really ever wanted. So we'll see. Terrell Owens now making a plea to Cowboys management to put him on the roster and give him a chance to make a comeback to help out the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't know. 41 years old is a long time and 5 years removed from playing football. But, again, I would think what would be more important is how would he mesh with the other guys. Because, as you know, and his track record would indicate that he pops off a lot, keeps things stirred up in the locker room or the clubhouse. So, I don't know. We'll see. My guess is Jerry Jones won't do it, but stranger things have happened. What will happen will be on Saturday, a football game at the Swamp in Florida. The Florida Gators at 3-0 and 1-0 in the Southeastern Conference, taking on Tennessee, who's 2-1, and their conference opener. Florida's beaten Tennessee 10 straight times, heading into Saturday's renewal of this annual series. Tennessee safety Todd Kelly Jr. was an 8-year-old cheering from the stands the last time the Vols beat the Gators in 2004, 30-28. On a James Wilhoit 50-yard field goal with 7 seconds left. Kelly says that was the loudest that ever heard Neyland Stadium as a fan. And so the Gators, of course, beating Kentucky last week for the 29th straight time. And so Butch Jones notes that only 12 players from Tennessee's traveling squad for its 2013 trip to Gainesville remain on the Vols roster. Tennessee lost that game 31-17. Jones said Monday, thought this was an interesting comment. But Jones said Monday, quote, really, I don't know if they truly believe they could win that team, 2013. He says, I really don't know if they truly believe they can win that football game. Of course, this year he says, I believe our players expect to win every time they step out on the field. Well, they haven't won lately whenever they face Florida. Tennessee was favored over the Gators last year, and yet the Vols still blew a 9-point fourth-quarter lead at home as Treon Harris came off the bench and rallied Florida to a 10-9 victory. So, again, interesting that he would say that 2 years after the fact, that I don't know if they really believe they could win. So, I don't know. I do know. I know one thing. Florida's defense is pretty stout. If Tennessee has any chance to make this a football game or be in the game or actually win the game, to me, you're going to have to establish a running game against this big and massive and very strong and very quick Florida defense, especially the front. Pretty strong, pretty stout defense. And so I would think the key to the game is down there in the as it always is, really, down to the trenches. Can the Hogs for Tennessee block the Hogs for Florida and get them some running room, get them some lanes to run through, some alleyways, if you will, and some lanes. If they can't, if Florida puts pressure on Dobbs and gets in the backfield and messes up their offensive schemes, it could be a long afternoon for Tennessee. On the flip side, Tennessee's defense pretty stout. Florida's offense kind of anemic, really. Hasn't been world beater so far. But, again, and you throw in the advantage of being at home in the Swamp, I it's going to be very tough. Tennessee's going to play a very, very good football game, and it'll be interesting to say the least at 3:30 on Saturday afternoon in Gainesville. Question that won't go away in Columbus, Ohio. Who is the starting quarterback? Who's tired of hearing about it? Raise their hand. Got it. I'm right there. Hit it. Tired of hearing about it, but who's the starting quarterback? Cardell Jones or J.T. Barrett? Neither has been very impressive through 3 games, so you could always go pull Braxton Miller out of that slot position or the wideout, stick him back in there. But anyway, they're trying to decide who it's going to be, and Meyer bristles at the suggestion he's platooning. He said bristle means he's not happy. Let's be clear, I did go with one guy. The guy didn't perform well, so we went with the backup. There is no set thing saying that we are a 2-quarterback system. We're not. The backup is a very good player, whomever that may be, so we're going to go with that guy. So it's down to, again, Barrett and J.T. Barrett and Cardell Jones again for Saturday's big powerhouse matchup with the Broncos of Western Michigan. The Buckeyes 3-0, and they're playing Western Michigan on the heels of playing Northern Illinois. Whoa. So anyway, let's see. Buckeyes committed 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles against Northern Illinois, and were combined 2 for 15 on 3rd and 4th down conversions in the football game. This is Ohio State, number 1 team in the land. 5 turnovers against Northern Illinois, and a combined on 3rd and 4th down conversions of 2 for 15. Whew. Wow. So anyway, they got some things to clean up, obviously. And, again, the starting quarterback is yet to be settled upon for the Ohio State Buckeyes come Saturday when they take on the mighty Western Michigan Broncos. So there you go. One more sport note on the status of Tony Romo coming out of the Johnson City Press paper. Expected to miss about 2 months with a broken left collarbone. He will not need surgery, which is a good thing. And so they'll be without the starting quarterback for 2 months, which is what, 5 or 6 games? So his absence could approach 3 months if he skips a short week for the Thanksgiving home game against Carolina. Could come back on December the 7th at Washington. So, again, it is a costly loss right now, to say the least. You already know that, for Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back, and after the break, we will be joined by our buddy, Coach Kevin Vanhill, the Science Hill golf coach, as Science Hill wins the regional championship yesterday. They're heading on down to the state tournament next week, which is really cool, and we'll talk to Coach Vanhill. Scheduled to be with us coming up next here on the Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair takes a lot of pride in their work and customer service. Owner Kim Smith tells us why someone should consider American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City.
Well, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure that people are getting value for their dollar. Our emphasis is on quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that not only is the job being done, but it's done right with quality parts, with highly trained technicians. All of our technicians are ASE certified. We have several master techs, which is the highest you can get in the ASE. And ASE is a program that certifies people to the top level of their industry in car repair. We want people to feel comfortable. We never twist people's arms. Like I said, it's about quality. We want people to be happy. We want them to come back. We want a good name. You know, we're customers of other businesses. We want to be treated right, so we'd like to treat our customers right.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Issacs says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Issacs today at 247-6134.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad-spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Tuesday morning. One ringy dingy. Two ringy dingy.
Hello.
There he is, Coach Vanhill with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, fine. How are you, Tom?
Just fine, sir. Congratulations, man! What a performance for the Science Hill men's, they ain't boys, the men's golf team. They did it for you yesterday, and a great championship. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, they played really well. I mean, to shoot 295 down there for most of the golfers, if you've never been to Patriot Hills, it's got some snags. It's an interesting golf course. It had 6 par 3 and 6 par 4 and par 5s, and it made you make some choices. And the kids yesterday, you know, made the right choices. They hit it where they played safe to put themselves to score good, and then, you know, Jack was 400 at 68, and Garrett should have come in at 69, but he bogeyed the last hole, unfortunately. But with that, you know, the 3-4 guy come in the 70s, and it proved really well for us.
Talking to Coach Vanhill at Science Hill again, he's mentioning Jack would be Jack Ray and Garrett would be Garrett Whitfield. Again, Ray, 68, earned him the medalist honor. So, but you also had a couple other guys step up and help out the Hilltoppers. Tell me about those gentlemen.
Mason Williams shot 78, and Jay Turner shot 79. And even if those guys would have went high, our fifth guy shot 83, and that still would have been enough. And, you know, those last 3 guys, David Simonson, Mason Williams, and Jacob Turner, they're seniors. So I'm really proud of those guys for just the effort. And, you know, this is the time of year that, you know, having seniors to pay off, and they've taken every advantage that you know, of every opportunity that they've been given. And going down the stretch really got some confidence, and it's really made a difference in our team. We know that Jack and Garrett have to play well for us, but those 3 guys having the confidence of going out the last few times and putting scores in the 70s, you know, I think makes us, you know, at least a contender when we go to state if we play well.
You move on to Manchester, Tennessee next week for the state tournament. Who would be the favorite? Can Science Hill compete with other teams around the state?
Hello?
Yes, are you there? I'll be doggone. Did we lose him again?
Hey, Tom, I can hear you now.
Okay, go ahead. I said, who are some of the teams around the state, and can Science Hill compete with them?
Well, the Hendersonville, I was looking online this morning, there's only about 4 of those teams out there, but Hendersonville and Farragut, you know, Farragut won it last year. I think the scores that were read out of the newspaper, they shot 291, and Hendersonville shot, I think, 301. It was either 301 or 300. We go down to Hendersonville every year, and we come in second to them at their tournament. So if we can put up 295 somewhere right in there for 2 days, I think that probably gives us, you know, a chance to compete, you know, maybe for a state championship, depending on the conditions, but, you know, just a place also.
So to beat Dobbins Minute, which is the big rival, and that's the team you always kind of duke it out with, to beat them and send the Hilltopper guys down there next week with the state tournament as a team, how special is that for Kevin Vanhill?
It's been 3 years since we've been in the state tournament, and I've got so much respect for Eddie Carson, William Nottingham. Those guys have made us indirectly better because going against them, you know, William shoots 2 under, and Eddie didn't have, you know, his best day yesterday at the district, but throughout the last 2 years, you know, they've made us feel the sting of them playing well. So it was sweet yesterday, you know, to get over the hump and see the confidence in the guys, and, you know, being a topper, anytime you can beat an Indian, that's icing on the cake.
Absolutely. We're talking again to golf coach Kevin Vanhill. Let's talk about the ladies for just a second. Got some individuals heading down to the state tournament. Didn't win the team title, but got an individual going. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Lillian Chin has played well. She played extremely well yesterday. We went down on Thursday and Sunday and just surveyed the course and tried to lay out a game plan for both the guys and girls because of the difference. And the course really fit well for her because she's usually straight and not too long. And so yesterday she didn't put herself in trouble, and she had a 76. And I'm just so thrilled, especially being a freshman. I mean, that's good signs for us in the future because our best players are sophomore. Jenny Simonson's a sophomore, and she's a freshman. So we're going to have those girls around to build on that confidence. And I think going down to the state tournament, it's a good experience to play under that type of pressure. So there's no pressure on her. Go down and do the best that she can and look to find some of those girls down there that are juniors and seniors and see how they've developed their game, and then can she be there in 2 years.
Before I let you go, explain to the listeners out there, the team goes, obviously, as a team. The individuals will go by themselves and represent, in this case, Science Hill, by themselves without benefit of the team. Is that correct?
Right. Like everybody, there's only one team for the region. Like everybody will be entered in the individual contest. So that's kind of a little difference there from the region because you take the top team and then you take the top 4 individuals. So everybody down there will be playing for an individual title, no matter whether they're on the team or not. But then what separates out is then you'll have those 8 teams vying for that big, the coveted state championship trophy title. So we get the best of both worlds by making it as a team.
How many times has Science Hill brought back a state championship golf title?
Let's see. I know Coach Poe won 2. I'm thinking it's 3 times. I think they're 3-time state champs, and I have to go back and look at the records because I wasn't around when some of those there. And then I know since I've been with the program, we were runner-up in 2006 with the guys, and I know Coach Judy years. There was also some runner-ups there. I'd have to go back and do a little more research to have the exact numbers for you, but I know at least 3, and hopefully if we can play our best these next 2 days on Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe we can add them to 4.
There you go. I can hear the excitement in your voice, and you've earned it as a proud coach of these 2 golf teams. The guys go as a team, and Lillian Chin and Jenny Simonson goes individuals. Coach, congratulations. We'll talk to you next week. And when is the state tournament? Next Monday and Tuesday, or when do you play next week?
Yes, we'll travel down on Monday for the practice round, but some of those kids will even be there on Sunday afternoon. And then the official practice round is Monday, and then the tournament starts on Tuesday and Wednesday. And for the golfing fans, you can tune in to the TWSAA website and watch us because they update online every 3 holes. So you can follow the tournament even if you can't take off work. You can still be there with us. Oh,
so they live stream it, or they just give you updates?
No, they basically it's live. They check in every 3 holes, and then they live stream. They update it. So about every 15 minutes, you're getting an update of the real-time scores out on the course. Neat
stuff. Very neat stuff. Coach, thank you, my friend. Again, congratulations, and we'll talk to you next week. And go Toppers, right?
Well, thanks, Tom. Thanks for promoting us, and it's amazing how many Topper golf fans are out there. So thanks for your support and all that the parents and the courses do. We can't. This is a team effort. We can't do it without everybody out there.
There you go. Good job again, Kevin Vanhill, the golf coach at Science Hill. The team wins the regional, and the ladies, Lillian Chin and Jenny Simonson, will go as individuals. Now, in defense of the ladies, which we didn't talk a whole lot about, congratulations to the girls' side. Dobbins Minutes ladies rolled to the team title, posting a 148 to top Science Hill by 10 strokes. Haverly Harold, who's a heck of a golfer, led the way with a 73, and Katarina Scott, I hope I said it right, Katarina Scott added a 75 for the Lady Indians, so they will go as a team. Also on the gentlemen's side, William Nottingham from Dobbins Minute shot a 70 to earn an individual berth in the state tournament. Also in AAA from this region, Jefferson County's Chase Burt, Sevier County's Spencer Cross, and Seymour's Eli Jenkins from Seymour High are all going to the state tournament as individuals. And then on the ladies' side from this neck of the woods, Cock County's Elena Perryman, Cherokee's Kellyanne Peason, and South Doyle's Alexis Shaw go as individual lady golfers along with, we said, Lillian Chin and Jenny Simonson from Science Hill. So congratulations to those ladies and gents. And again, one more time, congratulations to the regional championship going to Science Hill Hilltopper boys team. And the regional championship goes to the Dobbins Bennett girls team. And they go as teams next week to the state tournament at Willowbrook Golf Club in Manchester, Tennessee. So there you go. Congratulations to those two teams. And thanks to Coach Vanhill checking in with us here on this Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. What else going on? Let's see. Back to some college football. Nick Saban. Coach Saban talking about his offense. And that Lane Kiffin's part of the football equation? I think it is it not? Alabama still trying to figure out offensive identity after the Ole Miss loss. Interesting. Alabama losing to Ole Miss in Tuscaloosa at night 1 year after the upset in Oxford is notable. Alabama's offense turned the ball over 5 times, set a new school record with 59 passing attempts against the Rebels. Ole Miss forcing Alabama to play the game it wanted it to play. Nick Saban says his team has to reverse this scattered approach to offense. Uh-oh. Rutro, let me read that one again. His team has to reverse this, quote, scattered approach to offense. I think we need to continue to develop that, says Saban. I thought we had some identity in the first game. We were moving in the right direction. The last 2 games have been a little bit scattered. We need to have some certainty in what we're going to do. Rutro, that would be Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's arrival paired with a Heisman finalist season from Amari Cooper last year gave the Tide one of the top passing offenses in the Southeastern Conference last season. But again, the team finished the season with more rushing attempts than passing attempts a year ago. So 3 games into this season, Alabama throwing more than it has run and only averaging about a yard per play more on passing plays. So not what he wants, obviously. Alabama still has tremendous talent, should be considered one of the contenders for the SEC title, but contender is different than favorite, which is how they've been used to being classified. So anyway, Tuscaloosa, reports coming out of Tuscaloosa suggesting the players, too, are trying to figure out what the offense does well, which isn't the most encouraging sign with a trip to Georgia coming up on October the 3rd. Man, what a football game. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, Alabama at Georgia. So they'll be on October the 3rd. So anyway, that's what's going on, and they're trying to find an identity to their offense. That would be, to me, without coming right out and saying it, that would be, to me, I wouldn't even say a finger pointing, but yeah, he is finger pointing, as a matter of fact. He's being specific, and we got to fix his offense and try and find our identity and get this thing figured out, is what he said. And he'll have some time to do that before he takes on the Georgia Bulldogs. I was trying to see if, in fact, they've got a game this week. And I'll double-check here. Wait a minute, I got it right here. The Southeastern Conference. Let's see who they play this week. SEC. Louisiana Monroe. That's down at Doug Dynasty and the boys. That'll be Cy and Willie and the boys. They may come up and watch that game, but they're playing. Alabama is hosting Louisiana Monroe at 4 o'clock this Saturday. Again, and then they'll get ready for Georgia next week. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, thanks for being with us. College football, let's see who's playing where. Any good matchups this week? Nah, not really. This is kind of a ho-hum week, it would look like to me. Friday night, number 21 Stanford takes on Oregon State. Nah. Saturday, number 1 Ohio State, Western Michigan. Nah. Number 2 Michigan State, Central Michigan. Nah. Number 3 Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. No. Number 4 Texas Christian at Texas Tech. Nah, not really. Number 5 Baylor battles Rice. Number 6 Notre Dame takes on UMass. Number 7 Georgia battles Southern University. No. Number 8 LSU at Syracuse. Number 9, this may be the only good one of the weekend, really, when you look at it. As far as ranked teams, it is the only one playing. Only one playing each other. You have number 9 UCLA and number 16 Arizona. Of course, credit UCLA. It's 2 weeks in a row they've played a top 25 team. Last week was BYU, and so this week it is Arizona. Number 12 Alabama, as we said, Louisiana Monroe. No. Now, here's the other one. Number 13 Oregon taking on number 18 Utah at 8:30 on Saturday evening. That'll be, let me go ahead and highlight that, and it'll be a halfway decent game. Number 13 Oregon and number 18 Utah square off. Number 14 Texas A&M, the Aggies battle Arkansas. That's a good one. That's an SEC game. Even though they're not ranked, that's going to be a good one. Arkansas, they're out of the gate doing not so good. And the Texas Tech coach, if you've read the comments, talking about how he kind of challenged them at a coaching clinic and kind of made fun of their offensive approach as a guest speaker at the coaching clinic in Texas. And so now the Texas Tech coach says he may get his handed to him again this week too. And so it'll be Texas A&M and Arkansas in Arlington, Texas on Saturday evening. It'll be a good ball game. Number 17 Northwestern takes on Ball State. Nope. Number 19 Southern Cal at Arizona State. No. Number 20 Georgia Tech at Duke. Could be interesting. But again, it's not a game involving ranked teams. But Georgia Tech at Duke on Saturday at noon. Number 22 ranked or 22nd ranked BYU at Michigan. It could be. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that one. We're looking for, obviously. We are scrounging for some good games. BYU at Michigan may be halfway decent up in the big house. Number 22 Wisconsin, the Badgers hosting Hawaii. No. Number 24 Oklahoma State at Texas. Probably not. And the number 25 Missouri at Kentucky. It could be interesting in the SEC East. So we'll go ahead and put that one down. And then, of course, the big one for folks around here would be both unranked but both ready to go for this rivalry to be renewed. Tennessee at Florida on Saturday afternoon in the SEC East Division. So that's what's coming up in college football as far as big games and good games coming up on Saturday. And, of course, Friday night is number 21 Stanford at Oregon State. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. High school football polls are out. Let's talk about that. The number one team in 6A football saw them Friday night. They are the deal, I can tell you that. The Maryville Rebels at number 1. Number 6 is Dobbins Bennett. They jumped up to number 6 in the state. Science Hill dropping from 4th to 9th. Hilltopper still 9th in the state. And Bradley Central gets the number 10 spot this week. So out of the Big East Conference in 6A football, Maryville number 1, Dobbins Bennett number 6, Science Hill number 9, and Bradley Central number 10. And the latest 6A high school football polls that came out this morning, as a matter of fact. In 5A, Independence is number 1, and Morristown West End at number 2 in the state this week. In 4A football, Knox Fulton number 1, Greenville, the Green Devils stay at number 2 in the state in 4A football. In 3A, CPA at number 1, Elizabethton at number 6. In 2A football, Marion County number 1. The Hampton Bulldogs up 2 notches to number 4, and the Sullivan North Golden Raiders riding their coattails. Again, they jump 2 spots to number 5 this week in the latest 2A polls. And then in single A, Union City is the number 1 team right now in single A football in the great state of Tennessee. We are working our way through this Tuesday. Coming up, we're going to be talking to the national cycling champion coach. I don't know if you heard about it. Milligan College wins the United States USA National Cycling Championship again. We're going to be talking to Zach Nave about all that coming up here in just a little while on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. How about a little patriotism? How about Taylor Geese Sanders? And how about she singing for you the national anthem here on this Tuesday? And let's see, we'll do that right here. Let's go back here. What happened here? Something just went. Oh boy, clicked the wrong button. And let's see, let's go back to. Oh, here it is, right here. All right, here we go. Bear with me for just a second. Hit this, and here she is, Taylor Geese Sanders with our national anthem here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the
Thank you, Taylor Geese. Great job as always. Appreciate her very much here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Don't forget our coaches' shows. Got 2 in the books. Will come out tomorrow. We've already taped the Stacey Carter show and the Sean Whitten show. And so we'll be ready to go with the Graham Clark show tonight from Big E's Clam Bar on Stone Drive in Kingsport. We'll be there tonight, and we'll shoot that one and have them all ready for you tomorrow at noon. And looking forward to putting them out there for you. Sean Whitten with a big football game Friday night, traveling to the Stone Castle to battle the Tennessee High Vikings. Their outstanding running back, Sir Schuff, and it's not Sir Schuff, S-H-U-F-F. And so big ball game for him. And so, and the Cyclones, we'll hear about that. And his big win, 35-0, with Hunter Tyree having a heck of a game again. 3 touchdowns, 278 yards passing. It was a heck of a night for, again, one Hunter Tyree, the quarterback, of course, for the Elizabethton Cyclones, had a great ball game. And, again, it'll be a good one for him. And the Elizabethton Cyclones playing a very big and physical Tennessee High team. We'll hear about that tomorrow beginning at noon, the coaches' show tomorrow. Also, Stacey Carter, will he or won't he play Justin Bedard? And so preparing with him and preparing for Daniel Boone without him, both scenarios as they get ready to battle the Boone Trailblazers. My guess is, this is just me speculating, you won't see him tomorrow night, Friday night. You will see someone instead and save Justin Bedard for Hardin Valley and Knox Bearden and William Blount and Jefferson County and Dobbins Minute. He's got 5 big conference games coming up after this final non-conference week of the season. So we'll hear from Stacey Carter about all that and more coming up again tomorrow beginning at noon. All you do is go to TomTaylorSports.com. We are there. Also, our football games are there. Our audio cast of the Science Hill Hilltoppers, and also these shows are there as well, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So like it, enjoy it, and we certainly appreciate bringing it to you. And so it's a one-stop shop now. Just go to TomTaylorSports.com, and there we be. And so it's a lot of fun. Thanks to our buddy Cody Helton doing a great job putting all this together for us, and our buddy Drew as well here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll take a break, come right back. We'll check in with Zach Nave, the cycling coach from Milligan College, the numero uno, #1 national champion cycling coach from Milligan College, the land of the Buffaloes, orange and black. He joins us coming up right here on a Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
There is Coach Zach Nave again. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Just fine, sir. He's live with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And, hey, congratulations, the national cycling champion, Milligan College. Tell me about it.
Thank you so much for that. Just a lot of hard work went into preparation. Going out to Colorado, we're just really excited. Starting to sink in now. I think it took 23 hours to get home, and it's finally starting to sink in that we won nationals. So
tell us about it. Folks out there listening going, okay, how do you win? How do you compete? How does it go? How do you become national champion? Kind of step us through it, would you please?
Yeah, we race 4 different disciplines. So we start out here with track, which is what we just won nationals in. Then we progressed to mountain bike, cyclocross, and then road. And we won road last spring, which is really cool to have 2 in a row that we've won. So track racing is what you see in the Olympics. It's the banked walls, and there's a series of events that go on the track. You do everything from 200-meter like mat sprints where it's one-on-one to mass starts where there's 45, 50 people on the track at one time.
Neat stuff. And so what we see on TV in the Olympics is what you guys did. Is that correct?
Yes.
Neat stuff. We're talking again to Zach Nave, the national cycling champion from Milligan College. So how do you do that? I mean, Milligan obviously is not that, it's not a big school, and yet you get great guys in there to compete. And so tell me, how does Milligan do what you do?
It's just good people are attracted to good people is what I usually tell everyone. We've got a lot of really good people at the college in terms of like staff. From the president down, we've just got a lot of really great people that work there, and it just kind of rubs off. People come and they see the area; it's a great area to train. And on top of that, meeting the team and bringing in really solid personalities and putting those together. That's what's brought us to where we are.
Absolutely. Again, we're talking to Zach Nave, the national cycling coach champion out of Milligan College. So now what? Is the season over? Do you start competing in a different division or whatever?
Yeah, we've got 3 other disciplines to do, so we're going to hop straight into mountain biking and give it a go. That's probably our smallest discipline as a team, and then we'll ramp it into cyclocross, which we've got a really big cyclocross team and a really big road team. So it's just getting started for us. It's a good way to kick off the season for sure.
So winning now, when you won the national championship, were you with folks in the NAIA, or did you beat Tennessee's and the Arkansas and the Notre Dames, or did you participate on the NAIA level?
No, I mean, we race against everyone.
Awesome.
A lot of those schools, Division I, Division II, we're considered Division II just because of the size of our school. We did compete against all the Division I schools, and then they separate you for the team overall, which is what we won. So we compete against every team in the nation, pretty much.
Wow, that's even more impressive. So one of the little guys beat the big guys and win the national championship. Talk about some of the kids or some of the folks on the team. How many did you have on the team? How many can run at any? I don't know anything about cycling, obviously, so I'm learning as we go here. But kind of explain how that works and throw out some names of some of the folks that competed and help you win it.
Yeah, we've got 7 that went. We had 2 that canceled late. They had one. Samuel had a back injury. And then Dinah Ramos got selected to go to World Championships for Puerto Rico. So that was like a kind of trump going to nationals if you get selected to go to Worlds. So on top of that, Grayson Brookshire and David Duquette and Carlo, all 3 of them were just great. That's who we took on our guy side. And Grayson and David played well off of each other, kind of figured out, Dave was a lot more active for us, like going up the road and attacking and being aggressive, and let Grayson sit and figure stuff out in the end. It became down to the field sprint, and it worked out for us. He ended up 3rd in the scratch race, which was a huge result for him. And all the women, we had a lot of depth this year. Out of those 7 riders, 5 of them were freshmen. So having the experience and going to nationals, not been here and done that, we didn't have that this year. But we did have a whole lot of ability and a lot of depth on the roster. So having 4 women that were around the same, ability level really, really helped us out on the result sheet.
We're talking to Zach Nave, the cycling coach at Milligan College, the national champions again in this particular division. So around here, do we have cycling for you to recruit kids out of? You have to go somewhere else to get kids.
We've got local races. There's not. It's a little different. I can't just go to the high school and watch high schools compete in a cycling event. They're the Rome Grown. If something goes on in Johnson City, that's a really big race, and it's got a decent junior field that comes to it. And I usually travel all summer and race a little bit myself, and meet people and watch it happen. So that's how just travel around and get to races.
Pretty cool stuff. And so. As a national cycling champion, again, at Milligan College, they won it back in the spring. They've won it again now in a different division. What do you get? Do you get trophies? Do you get rings? Do you get coats? What does a national champion get?
They give us a trophy. They give gold medals, and then you always see like a jersey that they wear and ride in. So they all got Stars and Stripes jerseys, which is really cool.
Yeah. And then what does the college do for you? Do they do anything? They honor you? They have a banquet, or they get you all rings? What does Milligan College do for bringing home a second consecutive national championship?
I'm not real sure yet. I think we'll find out. I think they're kind of stunned like we are at this point. It's the couple of days after we got back into town late yesterday, and it's just kind of sinking in for everybody, I think.
Huh. Well, we're very proud of you again, the national cycling champions of Milligan College. And this division, what division you win back in the spring? What was that division?
It was Division 2.
Yeah, Division 2, but it was what, track or
road?
Road. All right, so
yeah.
It's pretty cool stuff, man. I'm very proud, and I don't know a thing about it. I'm telling you that up front, but the fact you won a national championship and you brought it back to Northeast Tennessee, that's all I needed to know, and I'm awful proud of you and the team. So, hey, good luck rest of the way, and let us interview you anytime, all right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Take care. Appreciate you very much.
All right.
Yep. Again, Zach Nave, the cycling coach at Milligan College. Let's hit it. I have no clue what he just said. I don't know anything about it. There's different divisions. I tried to follow along to see how he was saying and what he was saying. Bottom line is Milligan College wins the national championship, and that's really all I need to know. And so congratulations to Milligan College for doing just that. Hey, it's Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us on this Tuesday. Again, it is our 144th day together. We love it. And, of course, we work our way through each and every day. National sports stories, local sports stories, regional sports stories. And so that particular there was coach for Milligan College. Earlier in the show, we had Kevin Vanhill, the boys and girls golf coach at Science Hill. They, of course, won. The boys won the regional championship yesterday, sending those youngsters to the state tournament next week in Manchester, Tennessee. Dobbins Minutes ladies won obviously the women's regional championship, and so this is in AAA. Now, the single A and double A play later on this week, I believe it is, or next week in the same capacity to determine who they will send in that division's double A and single A on to the state tournament in Manchester as well. Pete Rose says, switching gears, going baseball, Pete Rose says it's an American tradition to give second chances. Although he wouldn't describe himself as optimistic about his application for reinstatement to Major League Baseball. Rose, 74 now. We're getting old, and Pete Rose is 74. So, first-year Commissioner Rob Manfred has said he plans to meet with baseball's banned hit king by the end of the year. Rose says it's his timetable. He's the boss. My phone's always on. If I get that meeting, I'll look forward to it. And so Rose said repeatedly that he made mistakes, that he hopes others will learn from them. And so he says, quote, I've been suspended a long time, but I've made the mistake, and I'm paying the consequences. If I'm ever given a second chance, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. I'm an American. This is America. You get a second chance. He says, quote, I won't need a third chance. So Pete Rose trying to wait, or is waiting, trying to get a meeting with the commissioner to, again, talk about his possible reinstatement to Major League Baseball. Again, Rose now 74, made his debut with the Reds back in 63. The career hits leader with 4,256, was banned back in 1989 for betting on baseball. So Pete Rose waiting for that opportunity to sit down and meet with the commissioner and see if they can get a possible reinstatement into Major League Baseball. Speaking of baseball, we'll talk more about that later in the show. We'll break down the divisions and who's doing what, but we will tell you that Daniel Norris does, in fact, pitch tonight. Norris will be taking on the White Sox in Detroit, the Chicago White Sox. 7:08 first pitch, so good luck to Dino as he'll go on the mound representing all of us here in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, as Daniel Norris on the hill tonight for Detroit, and again hosting the Chicago White Sox in Major League Baseball. So good luck again to Daniel Norris. We'll take another break, get ready to go for more here as we work our way through this Tuesday morning, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And coming up next, we'll jump in and talk a little college football. Got some more college football I want to talk about, and we'll do that right after you hear this. Again on this Tuesday morning, again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. But first, our buddy Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
American Import and Auto Repair takes a lot of pride in their work and customer service. Owner Kim Smith tells us why someone should consider American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City.
Well, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure that people are getting value for their dollar. Our emphasis is on quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that not only is the job being done, but it's done right with quality parts, with highly trained technicians. All of our technicians are ASE certified. We have several master techs, which is the highest you can get in the ASE. And ASE is a program that certifies people to the top level of their industry in car repair. We want people to feel comfortable. We never twist people's arms. Like I said, it's about quality. We want people to be happy. We want them to come back. We want a good name. You know, we're customers of other businesses. We wanted to be treated right, so we'd like to treat our customers right.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the three-state region. Owner Richard Isaacs says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered. Hey, thanks for being with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again on this Tuesday, September 22nd, show number 144. Homecoming on Saturday for the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State. Should be a lot of fun. Bucks playing host to Emory and Henry, the Wasps, out of Emory, Virginia. First homecoming game since 2003. Kickoff 1:30 at Kermit Tipton Stadium in Johnson City. First two crowds of the season, home crowds. Game number one, they had 8,217. The second game for State, Buccaneers had 7,357. So what did they lose? About 800 or 900 people from game one to game two. Game two had some rain in the area, so that had something to do with it. And this week will be a sellout. It is sold out for Saturday at 1:30. After a three-game trial splitting time with Nick Sexton and again, the leader of this football team for the East Tennessee State Buccaneers. Redshirt freshman quarterback completing 70% of his passes, is listed as number 49 of the football championship division passing efficiency statistics. He is one of only 6 freshmen in the top 50. And Austin Herink, again, is the man that's slinging the football now for the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State. Again, Bucks lose 28-21 to Maryville College in the second game against a non-scholarship NCAA Division III team. Again, losing to Maryville 28-21. Oh, by the way, they beat Emory and Henry on Saturday. Maryville beat Emory and Henry 30-13. So if you do the numbers, you would say, uh-oh, for the Buccaneers. But uh-ohs don't work on the field. They just work on paper. So, again, Maryville winning that game. They've beaten State earlier in the year 28-21 to beat Emory and Henry on Saturday 30-13. But, again, uh-ohs don't work on the field, just on paper. Again, the game will be ETSU's first day game. It's first played on a Saturday after opening with 3 Thursday night games. And for a roster comprised mostly of freshmen, it'll be a new experience. And, again, most of the kids that played in high school as freshmen didn't play day games. They always played on Friday nights. So it'll be a brand-new twist on things to play a Saturday afternoon game, which is, of course, is traditional college football here in the U.S. of A. So the Bucks at Emory and Henry at 1:30 at Kermit Tipton Stadium on Saturday. ETSU, by the way, won its last homecoming game 33-23 over Liberty way back in 2003. So the Bucks trying to get things turned around. Pretty good crowds, 8,217 in the first game, 7,357 in their second game, and this will be their second consecutive, or not consecutive, but second sellout of the season. Again, on Saturday, it'll be jam-packed and jammed up, jelly-tied, as we say. Again, on Saturday at 1:30 at Kermit Tipton Stadium on Steve Spurrier Field for the Bucks and Emory and Henry for homecoming. High school football honors this week. We always talk about our friends at the Johnson City Press, and so they've picked their 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star players of the week. 5-star, again, this kid's done it, 3 times now? Kobe Jones out of Hampton, topping Gatlinburg Pittman for a 41-23 win. Kobe Jones, 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 scores. He finished with close to 400 yards of total offense. So quite a night for Kobe Jones, C-O-B-Y, of Hampton. The 4-star winner, Hunter Tyree, the quarterback from Elizabethton, again producing 74% of the team's offense. Senior, 15 out of 22, 278 yards passing, and 3 touchdowns of 17, 50, and 24 yards. So big night for Hunter Tyree, who has really come on as a quarterback for the Elizabethton Cyclones. He's the 4-star football star on this week from the Johnson City Press. 3-star would be Austin Whitehead out of Cloudland. In a 54-0 win over Concord Christian that only lasted 2 quarters because of a forfeit, the Highlanders got 180 yards and a touchdown from the senior. He also returned a punt, 77 yards for a score. Apparently competition not that stiff there. They stopped the game at halftime because of a forfeit. I don't know, how do you forfeit a game? Yep, Concord Christian lasted only 2 quarters because of a forfeit. So I guess they just kind of threw in the towel today. 54-0, we're getting hammered, we're going home. I don't know what that teaches your kids, that you're, okay, we're getting beat 54-0, we're going to the house, which is a lot for a halftime score, no question. But, I know, what was it, not that long ago, DB put 76 on Central, and I think Science Hill put up in the 70s on Crockett one game not too long ago, but they didn't quit playing. They kept on keeping on. But anyway, the focus is on Austin Whitehead, the Cloudland quarterback. 2-star was Preston Whitehead, the linebacker from Elizabethton. Again, he leads that defense for the Elizabethton Cyclones. Gave them only 102 yards of total offense. They had 104 rushing. They had -2 yards passing to Unicoi County. So as a result, they had only 102 yards as a team. And the senior led them with 8 tackles, 8 solos for Preston Whitehead, the linebacker for the Elizabethton Cyclones. And Coach Whitehead will talk about, Coach Witten will talk about that tomorrow. His name's Whitehead. Coach Witten will talk about that tomorrow, and the coach's show comes out at noon, again on the TomTaylorSports.com website, and you'll hear him talk and brag a lot about Preston Whitehead, the linebacker for Elizabethton. So you have Kobe Jones out of Hampton, the 5-star player, the 4-star Hunter Tyree from Elizabethton, 3-star Austin Whitehead from Cloudland. 2-star was Preston Whitehead, as we said, from Elizabethton, and the 1-star player from the Johnson City Press from last week was Gabe Sanders, the quarterback. Again, senior helped put his team in a position for the upset. Totaled 208 yards of offense and had a 40-yard touchdown run of his own. Was not enough as they lose on the road to Tennessee High 13-6. But again, Gabe Sanders, the 1-star football player of the week. All this compliments of the Johnson City Press, and we certainly appreciate those folks. We have them on all the time, and they do a great job, obviously, but we appreciate them very much. Tom Taylor Sports Show, and let's go now to an interview with our buddy Will Graybill, one of our great sponsors. We got to squeeze him in from Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics here again on a Tuesday afternoon now, the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us. One of our great sponsors. Love promoting this gentleman, his great company, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics. 40 years, the same family, one family, now in 6 locations: Kingsport, Bristol, Greenville, Pounding Mill, Virginia, Abington, and Norton. We'll tell you those specific street addresses coming up here in a few minutes. Here's the number you want to remember: 1-800-524-4447 is the number to call. And Will Graybill, the owner, is with us. And Will, diabetes, it is becoming a rampant problem in certainly the United States, but even more so here locally. I know one of the races at Bristol back in the spring race, the Drive to Stop Diabetes 300. So it's out there, and you help a lot of folks with diabetes. And tell us about that from Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, we do have a lot of patients that are diabetics. I would say way more than half of our patients come in with a diabetic problem, whether it's needing diabetic shoes and inserts because they have a foot wound, doing some sort of other device to help with that wound through the wound care clinics, coming in and help offloading the pressure, getting rid of the doctor will take care of the underlying, maybe the infection that's going on, but they need us to help take care of the wound and keep the pressure away from that. Pressure and friction, and then the lack of sensation is what causes a lot of these wounds, and then those wounds can lead to amputations, and we certainly see a ton of patients that come in with amputation. Years ago, we might have had 2 or 3 people come in for legs per month, and it was usually an industrial accident, a car accident, occasional diabetic patient maybe, but now I would say we probably have about 20 to 30 patients per month that come in, and more than half of those, probably closer to 90% of those, are from diabetic-related issues. So we're seeing people that come in that have been diagnosed with diabetes for 15, 20 years, they're juvenile diabetic, and it's not just obesity we're seeing. It's people that skinny as a rail come in, and they've had issues with diabetes and just uncontrolled and sure what's going on with them. And then they go in and they come with a wound, and I've had several patients that, in fact, that didn't know they were diabetic until they lost their leg, just didn't know what was going on. And so we see those patients on a daily basis. Where we come in and where we can bring hope is when they find the problem, they can take care of the problem. The physician, either through amputation or through a wound care clinic, then we can come in and provide a device that helps with the pain, helps get them back up on their feet again. Literally, when they are an amputee, they are getting back up on 2 feet again, and life is back to the new normal for them. We always kind of coin it's like having eyeglasses. You get up in the morning, put your eyeglasses on, you don't think much about it. But then if you went without them, you'd definitely notice it. So with an amputee, we get them back to where they get up, they put their prosthesis on, and they go about a normal life every day. And it's nice to see that reward as they come through the door like that. And we work with all the wound care clinics down at Laughlin Hospital in Greenville, Tacoma Outpatient Wound Care down in Greenville. Kingsport has their wound care clinic at Wellmont Hospital. There's also one at Abingdon at the Mountain States Hospital in Abingdon, the wound care clinic there. And then, of course, with Dr. Gwaltney there in Bristol, we do a lot of, that's the original wound care clinic in the area. And we do a lot of patients over there. Charlie is sort of our main wound care guru, as we call him. People come in with foot wounds and problems, and he can definitely take care of them. That's sort of our every day. We know that we're going to see a patient coming in with a problem, with a wound or an amputation, and we've got plenty of devices. Most of the stuff that we do with the diabetics, we're making in-house, seeing them multiple times beyond what we're normally supposed to do by the insurance regulation. We still want them coming in, follow up with us, and get them healed and keep them healed. That's our whole goal.
And they do it very well. 40 years, 6 locations, the same family. It's awesome. 1-800-524-4447 is the number to call. 6 locations. Again, the newest locations in Norton, Virginia, Park Avenue Southwest, Abington on Porterfield Highway, Pounding Mill, Virginia on Short Street, in Greenville, an office there on Justice Drive, in Bristol on Highway 126 right up from Still Creek Park, and also in Kingsport on Broad Street. 40 years, 6 locations, 1 family, and they're a phone call away. 1-800-524-4447. They also offer clinics in Withfield, and Abington, Lebanon, Norton, Sevierville, Mountain City, Newland, North Carolina, and Linville, North Carolina. So they're all over the place. They're a phone call away. Website is bristolonp.com. 1-800-524-4447. Again, the great folks again, Will Graybill and the great staffs at Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, right here, as you've heard them, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Back with the
And thanks for being with us again. I'm back with us, I should say, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Tuesday. Again, we always love coming in there and hanging out with you each and every week, or each and every day of the week, I should say, every weekday from 11 to 2. Let's take a look at ETSU golf. We talked about Milligan cycling. We talked about Science Hills golf. ETSU men's golf team put itself in contention to win a second straight title at the Inverness Intercollegiate as the Buccaneers sit in second place following Monday's first 2 rounds of the Inverness Golf Club. So ETSU leading, over California at this point. 2-stroke lead over team leading California. Also, the Bucs who retired for the first day after a day held off the number 1 South Florida team to win the championship a year ago. So they are no stranger to success, of course, the Buck golf team. And so right now they will have to overcome a 2-stroke deficit over team leading California, which they certainly can do. And they're going to be doing that later on today. Also, ETSU opens its home schedule tonight, volleyball, when they host Tennessee State at 5 o'clock in Brooks Gym. And that comes up later on today for the volleyballers at East Tennessee State University. What else going on? Let's see. Player boycott. Here's a breaking story out of the Big 12 Conference. Let's talk about this one for just a second. Big 12 Commissioner says Bob Bowlesby made a bold prediction yesterday when speaking to the National Press Club in Washington. Athletes will boycott a big game in the near future. College athletes will boycott a big game in the near future. The National Labor Relations Board recently ruled it would not accept Northwestern University football players seeking to form a union. All right. Quoting the press now, I'm glad the unionization process is cooled for right now, but the fact is, and it probably will be in the sport of men's basketball, there will be a day in the future when the popcorn is popped, the TV cameras are there, and the fans are in the stands, and the team decides they're not going to play. Mark my words, we will see that in the years ahead. We saw some of that for other reasons in the 70s, but I really believe that we are not finished with the compensation issue or with the employee versus student issue. So while Bowlesby later downplayed his prediction, he emphasized there is tension in the system. And he covered a wide variety of topics related to college athletics, but the thought of a player strike was foremost. And so he recounted a conversation with a current men's basketball player who told the commissioner he felt like an employee. Interesting. So and Bowlesby was told by the player, my time is not my own. I don't have any control over where I go, what I do, how I work out, how long I work out, what I eat, where I eat. That sounds like an employee to me. I'm grateful for what I'm getting, but you asked me if I feel like an employee, and I do. Okay. You sign a scholarship to play basketball or a sport at said university. All right? They've got to have control of your schedule because most college guys and ladies aren't that disciplined to make sure you're from point A to point B. So, yes, they do have control over you, where you go, what you do, how you work out, how long you work out, what you eat and where you eat. And it doesn't sound like an employee. It sounds like someone who's getting a college scholarship and a free ride to get an education. Oh, by the way, we play sports in the process. So, for my money, it doesn't sound like an employee. It sounds like a pretty privileged person. I used to tell people, back in the day, my father told me when I was in college, said, enjoy it. It's almost the perfect scenario for folks living as long as they live. And perfect scenario by definition would be, look, you got a roof over your head if you're in college, if you're in the dorm, of course. You got 3 square meals a day if you want. I mean, everything's taken care of. You got running water. You got heat. You got AC in the summer and heat in the winter. And, you know, everything's pretty much taken care of you. So for those reasons, be glad you get a scholarship. And so this guy says he feels like an employee. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. But, again, the Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby making a bold prediction that college athletes will boycott a big game in the near future over money. So if they were not going to, now he's planted that seed, which I've never understood. You know, those kind of things get people thinking, going, yeah, he's right, we can do that. But anyway, that's what's coming up. Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby. Am I right or wrong? If you sign scholarship papers and we're going to say, Tom, if you play ball for us, we're going to give you your education for free, as long as you kick the ball, catch the ball, bounce the ball, whatever. And so to equate themselves as an employee, unless I'm missing something, I don't get that, because you go to college with a privilege of doing just that, and that would be the privilege of putting on that particular uniform and playing that particular sport, representing that particular university. So to be treated or say that they're an employee, I don't get that at all. But again, that's me, and I wouldn't see myself as an employee in any way, shape, or form. I would see myself as pretty dadgum lucky that I could get that kind of a deal and go to college for 4 years and have it paid for. It's not bad at all. Not everybody gets that, but a lot of folks get that and get a lot of financial help. And I don't see being equated as an employee in any way, shape, or form. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us. Again, we got a baseball segment coming up. Also, let's go back to Tennessee for just a second and the Florida Gators, as, again, they have struggled, to say the least, against this football team to get it turned around. And Tennessee trying to do just that. Butch Jones says, we're not going to talk about the streak at all in any way, shape, or form. Well, you got to talk about the streak. It's out there, and trying to find the article here in the Times News so I can convey that to you. But you got to be able to talk about it. You have to, because these guys, as I said, you know, they know what's going on, and so they're not stupid. They listen to the shows, and they read the paper, and they do this and do that. So the streak's out there, and it's very prevalent. So to kind of say, we're not going to talk about it. Here we go. We're not going to talk about it. Then, I don't get that. Didn't want to talk about the importance of this game to their hopes for this season and to Tennessee's rebuilding project under Jones, who has faced criticism from the Tennessee fan base since the Vols' 31-24 double overtime loss to Oklahoma back on September the 12th. And so the Vols are picked to finish second behind Georgia in the East, but losing to the Gators to begin conference play would make challenging the Bulldogs much more difficult. And again, you go back to the numbers, the domination. Tennessee's last win over the Gators came in 2004. Its last win in Gainesville was 2003. So it's been a while. So for Butch Jones to say, we're not going to talk about it. Everybody else is talking about it. You got to talk about it. You just don't sweep it under the rug. It may be the white elephant in the room, but you talk about it nonetheless. And it's what you got to do. Also, let's bring you up to date some other stories as well with the Volunteers. And that would be Danny O'Brien's back. Interesting timing. Danny O'Brien back on Tennessee's football team, but Coach Jones says he still has to earn his way back to the travel squad in the starting lineup. Defensive tackle has been reinstated to the team after a 2-game suspension for unspecified violation of team rules. Now, I'm nosy enough to want to know, what did this guy do? Why are we not being told, there's a Privacy Act? Well, you can throw that out the window, because in this day and age, everybody knows everybody's business by virtue of social media and different things. So why would he not say unspecified violation of team rules? Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But I just find it interesting in this day and age when everything is exposed and everybody talks about whomever and what's going on, why all of a sudden he doesn't have to disclose why he's been suspended. But he is back. Again, Danny O'Brien practiced yesterday, said he'll be available to play again against Florida on Saturday. Jones said he is not guaranteed a spot on the travel roster for Tennessee. Just like anything, he has to earn everything, Butch Jones says. He has to earn his travel roster spot by his performance in practice, and starting today, which was yesterday, he has to earn his way back for playing time and on the travel roster. And so O'Brien started 12 games last season, recording 23 tackles, including 4.5 for loss and a sack. And so he had 2 tackles and a sack in Tennessee's win over Bowling Green in the season opener before his suspension. So he's back, and whether he gets in the gets in the flow, gets into the ball game, remains to be seen. I say he plays. They need him. And so Danny Bryan is back on the Tennessee football team. Also, in part because of a 1-game suspension and an ankle tweak, Pig Howard, Tennessee's leading wide receiver last year, has 1 catch for 8 yards in 2 games. Not exactly setting the woods on fire. So Pig's got to step up. Pig Arnold, again, 1 catch for 8 yards total in 2 games, and I'm thinking, nah. I mean, you got to do better than that. And you got to get him the football. If he's that kind of a talent, you obviously have to get him the football. The other side of the coin for Florida's starting quarterback against Tennessee will be determined later this week, although redshirt freshman Will Greer played the entire game at Kentucky. Gators coach Jim McElwain has not committed to giving Greer a third consecutive start, when the Gators host Tennessee on Saturday. Greer, 13 out of 22 for 125 yards and a touchdown and an interception against Kentucky. Also ran 12 times for a team-high 61 yards and a score. McElwain said Greer used his feet as a check down too often and left plays on the field. So Greer has thrown for 442 yards and 4 touchdowns so far. Also 2 interceptions and a fumble. Sophomore Treon Harris, who came in last year and sparked him to the win in Knoxville. Harris has thrown for 269 yards and 2 scores. So, again, the starting quarterback has not been named as of yet for the Florida Gators. Either going to be Will Greer or Treon Harris for the Gators on Saturday against the Volunteers at the Swamp in Gainesville. What else going on in sports? Again, on this Tuesday, if you're a runner, the Bays Mountain Trail Race comes up this coming Saturday, again at 8 o'clock. And that'll be happening at Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport. Trail running trophy and all the different awards going to be handed out. Again, Mark Skelton's the man you want to call at 272-4812. 272-4812, the number to call to say, yes, we want to come race this coming Sunday, the Bays Mountain Trail Race up at Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, up on the mountain, as they say. And let's see, what else going on? Anything else? We've got lots more to talk about. We've also got some folks lined up and ready to go, and we'll take another break and come back, pay some bills, and be ready for that again on this Tuesday of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Back with more after you see and hear this.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Plus, it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen. We've got you covered.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Tuesday. Thanks for being with us. Soccer last night and volleyball last night. Start with volleyball. Big non-conference match. It was Sullivan South defeating Science Hill in volleyball last night in Colonial Heights. Crockett beat Chunky Doak. You had South Green defeating Daniel Boone. North Green defeating West Green. Tennessee High defeated Volunteer in volleyball in Tennessee last night. Marion defeated Holston, and Virginia High defeated Lebanon in girls volleyball in Southwest Virginia. Compliments again to the Kingsport Times News. In soccer, who's playing where tonight? Let's go back to volleyball. Got a schedule tonight. You have Science Hill playing at Tennessee High. That's the biggie, 1 versus 2 tonight. And that happens again at Viking Hall in Bristol. Crockett plays at Dobbins Minute. Volunteers, volleyballers will be at Daniel Boone. Unicoi County will be at Elizabethton, Johnson County at Sullivan South, and Sullivan East at Sullivan North. In Virginia, Thomas Walker in volleyball at Eastside, Gate City at Y Central, John Battle at Union, Rye Cove at Twin Springs, and Castlewood at J.I. Burton coming up again later today. In soccer, it goes as follows. Crockett plays at Science Hill tonight. Volunteer at Dobbins Minute. Daniel Boone plays at Sullivan Central, and Sullivan South at Elizabethton. In soccer, again in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia foe today. Southeastern Conference, let's see who's playing where today. Or not where today, but Saturday. LSU at Syracuse. Could be a trap game, although I don't think so. I don't think they got anything for Fournette, that outstanding running back for LSU. He's the deal. They play at Syracuse at noon. Georgia, my Bulldogs, hosting Southern University. Georgia at 3-0. Let's see, South Carolina hosting Central Florida at noon in Columbia. Of course, Tennessee at Florida. Louisiana Monroe at Alabama. Texas A&M at Arkansas at 7 o'clock on Saturday in Arlington, Texas. Vanderbilt will be at Ole Miss at 7 o'clock. Missouri at Kentucky at 7:30. There's a good one. And Mississippi State at Auburn. And there's a good one, although both of those teams at 0-1 in the Southeastern Conference Western Division or Western Conference. So Ole Miss hosting Vanderbilt, Missouri at Kentucky, Mississippi State at Auburn. Mississippi State's outscored their opponents 115-50. Was that 65 more points than the opponent, but they're only 2-1 and 0-1 in the SEC West. Auburn, of course, they've been outscored 79-89. So looks like got some problems, some issues, as they say, down on the plains at Auburn. So all that's going up again. LSU at Syracuse, Georgia hosting Southern University, South Carolina hosting Central Florida, Tennessee at Florida, Alabama home to Louisiana Monroe, Texas A&M and Arkansas. That should be a good one right there. Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, Missouri, Kentucky, and Mississippi State at Auburn. Given the fact Arkansas is 0-1-2, and this is their conference opener, I would think it is imperative for them with Texas A&M coming to town, or in a neutral game, I should say, in Arlington, and Texas A&M at 3-0, and Arkansas at 1-2. I would think this is a big win. I mean, a big game and a needed win for the Arkansas program. I think there's any question. When do they come to Tennessee? They'll roll into Knoxville next week. They'll be there next week. So Arkansas back-to-back. They have Texas A&M this week at home. Then they travel, I say home, Arlington, Texas, neutral site. Then next week they come to Knoxville. So, again, you look at the SEC schedule and you put it up against these other conferences, and it's not even close. I mean, look at Tennessee and Florida, Texas A&M and Arkansas, Mississippi State at Auburn, Kentucky and Missouri. And so, I mean, they beat each other up all season long, and so that's what's going on with the Southeastern Conference. Again, Georgia leads the East and LSU on top of the West right now with lots and lots of football left to play. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us on this Tuesday. What else going on? Let's take a look at the ACC. On top of the Atlantic Division is Clemson and Florida State and Syracuse. The Coastal Division again, conference opener will be for that entire conference. Miami and Duke and Georgia Tech are the winningest teams right now in that order. Miami 3-0, Duke and Georgia Tech at 2-1 each. And again, this is the conference opener coming up this weekend for the ACC. Well, let's see who they play. Atlantic Coast Conference. LSU at Syracuse. First off, Virginia plays Boise State on Friday night, so the Cavaliers will be in Charlottesville to host Boise State. On Saturday, as we told you, Syracuse hosting LSU. Duke and Georgia Tech will hook up in Durham. It'll be Wake Forest hosting Indiana out of the Big Ten. North Carolina home to Delaware. There's a cream puff. Boston College home to Northern Illinois. After they play Ohio State, they go to Boston College for another check. Virginia Tech, the Hokies, will be at East Carolina on Saturday afternoon. Louisville will be hosting Samford, and North Carolina State plays the Jaguars of South Alabama. And so there's your ACC schedule coming up again on Saturday. So some pretty good ball games. And, again, you look at see what's Georgia Tech doing right now. The Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech, they are 2-1, and Duke is a 2-1. Good ball game there in Durham coming up on Saturday out of the ACC. Again, the Hokies of Virginia Tech will take on the East Carolina Pirates. And East Carolina right now, where are you? Looking, scanning, and they are – Virginia Tech is at 2-1 right now. And I don't know why I said East Carolina. They are not in the ACC, but the Hokies are. The Hokies are 2-1, haven't outscored their opponent 117-69. Again, so far here in 2015. If you missed it earlier in the show, Monday Night Football, 5 turnovers by the Colts. They look very, very, very poor, I guess would be the right word, not very good, as they lose to the Jets 20-7 on Monday Night Football. And the Jets, of course, now a 2-0 football team along with New England in the AFC Eastern Division. And your schedule looks like this going forward. You do have a football game on Thursday night. The Washington Redskins will be in New York to battle the Giants and Eli Manning. And so you look at Washington and you look at that franchise right now. Redskins 1-1, Giants at 0-2, not playing very well. And as soon as Eli Manning signed a huge, huge contract extension, things began to kind of unravel a bit for the New York Giants. You say, well, Tom, they're just 0-2. Yeah, they're just 0-2. You're right. But 0-2 is 0-2. Washington at 1-1. Undefeated teams right now in the National Football League. New England and the Jets in the AFC East. You have Cincinnati in the AFC North. Denver, AFC West. The Raiders are 1-1. They'll battle and whip up on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. In the NFC, Dallas at 2-0. You have Atlanta and Carolina out of the same division in the South. They are 2-0. And Green Bay is 2-0 in the North. And Arizona is 2-0 in the West. So that's your NFL look for what's going on in the NFL, the National Football League. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Rebecca Hennessy will join us. There is a golf tournament you can get involved in coming up this weekend to benefit some folks in Johnson City. And, let's get Richard. He said, when can I do the quiz show? And let's see. Let's go ahead. I dropped the thing. Sorry. Let me get this to him because he's all ready to go and do the quiz show. And so we can do that right down just a minute or two. So we want to, as a matter of fact. So hit that button right there. Thank you. So, again, we were talking about the Rebecca Hennessy is going to join us about a golf tournament you can get involved in Johnson City. We'll do that coming up here in a few minutes. Also, don't forget the Three Coaches shows. Be ready to go. We've already taped the Stacey Carter show, Science Hill head football coach against Daniel Boone on Friday night. That'll be ready to go tomorrow at noon by our producer, Robert Kell. Again, TomTaylorSports.com. The Sean Whitten show was taped this morning. It'll be ready to go. And that'll be a noon release tomorrow as well. And also tomorrow releasing will be the Graham Clark Coaches show, as we'll tape that one tonight at Big East Clam Bar on Stone Drive in Kingsport. And if you've not been to Big East Clam Bar, you need to go to Big East Clam Bar on Stone Drive right across the putt-putt. Excellent food. In fact, tonight they want me to try a burger and a fried egg, or fried egg on a burger. So, okay. Of course, Biggie's based out of New Jersey. That's big up in Jersey. I've never known anybody to do this, but he said take a fried egg and put it on top of a hamburger. He said it'll set you free. So we're going to try it tonight. A fried egg on a burger at Biggie's Clam Bar on Stone Drive, right across from the putt-putt in Kingsport. We're going to be out there taping tonight's show on the back patio where they go out and listen to some live music. So really neat place. Food is excellent at Biggie's Clam Bar. And so if you get a chance, stop by there with us and hang out tonight and watch us tape the show. The show will be ready to go tomorrow at noon. Of course, Science Hill and Elizabeth and already done with their shows this week. And Dobbins Minute coming off the big win over Hardin Valley. And again, winning with a bad snap and a safety to win that ball game last Friday night. They're off this week. They'll play at Maryville next Thursday. So we'll tape Coach Clark and get his comments on the show and have it ready to go for you tomorrow at noon at TomTaylorSports.com. It's very easy to find that. And so that's where we have our show, TomTaylorSports.com. Who is the number one coach in college football? Who do you think it is? Who would you say is the number one coach in college football? Is it Urban Meyer of Ohio State? Is it Nick Saban from Alabama? Is it Chip Kelly, who's no longer in the college ranks? I don't know why they brought that up. He's not even there anymore. But who is the number one coach in college football? Could it be Les Miles of LSU? Could it be Mark Richt of Georgia? Could it be the coach, of course, of Michigan State, the Spartans? Could it be their coach, Dan Antonio? Could it be, let's see, who could it be? Maybe the coach at Ole Miss? After 3 years of Nick Saban being on top, the same guy who left the game as his best coach in 2010, only to return a year later and start over. And Urban Meyer finally caught up to Saban again, and this time returned the favor. And so Meyer still believes that Florida team could have won it all were it not for the loss to Alabama back in the day in the 2009 championship game. So Meyer jumped from number 3 to number 1 in the annual ranking after the Buckeyes won the national title, after he won for the 38th time in 41 career games at Ohio State. So who's the number one coach? Urban Meyer. 41 games he's coached at Ohio State. He has 38-3. Urban Meyer has been a head coach for 13 seasons. All right, 13 years he's been a head coach. They've won 5 conference championships, 3 national titles, and 2 unbeaten seasons. 2004 at Utah, 2012 at Ohio State. So while Saban's numbers are just as impressive, understand that Saban, despite landing the top recruiting class for the last 5 years, has lost some of his mojo in big games. So anyway, it is interesting. Urban Meyer, listen to this again. It's incredible. 13 seasons he's been a head coach. His teams have won 5 conference championships out of 13 years. 3 national titles in 13 years. He also has 2 unbeaten seasons that account for essentially nothing. That was 2004 at Utah and 2012 at Ohio State. So who would be, in my humble opinion, the number one coach in college football is, for my money, Urban Meyer for the Ohio State Buckeyes. What else going on? Let's see. We got some other breaking news here. And let's go to this story right here. Speaking of Auburn, again, we were telling you how they're struggling, and they really struggled against LSU. He is benching, the coach Malzahn is benching Jeremy Johnson. Says Sean White will start for Auburn coming up again on Saturday. Again, Auburn, as we said, will be hosting Mississippi State, so a change at QB. And so Johnson was expected to start against the Bulldogs following a disappointing performance against LSU that has been pulled. And he's been pulled. That redshirt freshman Sean White will start at quarterback against Mississippi State on Saturday. Now, how about that for some butterflies here on Tuesday afternoon? You just got told you're going to be redshirt freshman. You're going to start for us against Mississippi State on national television. So, oh boy, that's pressure right there. That is pressure. So, anyway, that's what's going to happen, and that's how it's going to be, and that'll be happening on Saturdays. That just came through that a new quarterback will be at Auburn on Saturday when they take on Mississippi State. And let's see. This is a good story, too. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We love talking sports with you every day. Can you imagine? How about this now? Can you imagine getting paid $20,000 to dress up in a ridiculous mascot costume and act like a drunken fool at a football game? Well, Ragnar, as he's named, the Vikings mascot. Ragnar and the team broke off negotiations after the mascot demanded a 10-year contract, which would pay him $20,000 a game. Even the mascots want more money. Huh. So 8 home games, $20,000 over the course of 10 years would be $1.6 million. Ragnar, R-A-G-N-A-R, Ragnar, that's how you pronounce it, is a dude in a costume who rides a bike and acts crazy. He's loved by fans, probably the team too, but he's just out of his element in these negotiations. Wow. So it looks like the Vikings are moving forward. It looks like he's kind of put him in a corner, or so he thought. Team says, quote, the Vikings greatly appreciate what Ragnar has meant to the organization and to the fans over the last 2 decades. We intend to honor his 21 seasons on the field during a 2015 Vikings home game. We will welcome him to future ceremonial events. We will always consider Ragnar an important part of Vikings history. So this guy says, hey, I've been around enough and I want more money. So he's asking for, again, $20,000 a game. Over 10 years would be $1.6 million. This guy to run around like crazy on a bicycle as the mascot. Vikings say, we appreciate your services. You've been a valuable employee for us, but we will move on. We're not going to pay you $20,000 a game. Wonder what they do get paid. The story doesn't say. Wonder what a mascot does get paid. Be an interesting way to check things out. But, again, I don't know. I don't know what they got paid. They don't get paid $20,000, obviously, because that's what he wants, and he's not going to get it. So, but they're right. $20,000 a game for 10 games or for 10 seasons would be $1.6 million. Before we go to the break, Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo placed on IR designated a return list today. Romo has opted to avoid surgery in his recovery from a broken left clavicle, which is slated to require 8 to 10 weeks to heal fully. Now that he resides on short-term injured reserve, though, he'll miss at least 8 weeks or 7 games of the current schedule, with his first potential return date November the 22nd at Miami. Tony Romo can return to practice as early as preparation for the Cowboys' last regular season matchup against the Eagles in Week 9. Brandon Whedon will operate under center in the meantime, likely without Dez Bryant for most, if not all, of that run. But again, Romo being put on the designated to return list as of today, so the rehab has begun. The process has begun to get him healed. And again, a broken left clavicle. And so missing at least 8 weeks or 7 games of the current schedule, with his first potential return date, November the 22nd at Miami. And that's what's happening, some of the sports going on right now on this Tuesday. Quick break. We'll be right back. We will be joined by a young lady talking golf and a golf tournament you can get involved in Johnson City. She joins us coming up here on the Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of their patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
American Import and Auto Repair takes a lot of pride in their work and customer service. Owner Kim Smith tells us why someone should consider American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City.
Well, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure that people are getting value for their dollar. Our emphasis is on quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that not only is the job being done, but it's done right with quality parts, with highly trained technicians. All of our technicians are ASE certified. We have several master techs, which is the highest you can get in the ASE. And ASE is a program that certifies people to the top level of their industry in car repair. We want people to feel comfortable. We never twist people's arms. Like I said, it's about quality. We want people to be happy. We want them to come back. We want a good name. You know, we're customers of other businesses. We want to be treated right, so we'd like to treat our customers right.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the three-state region. I asked owner Richard Issacs, is there a template or is the sky the limit?
Pretty much the sky's the limit. We have a very good drawing system that you come in, tell me what you want. If you have a set of house plans that you're working with, you're building a new house, we can take it off the house plans, we can draw it up, do you 3D drawings where you can see exactly where all the doors, the drawers, the color of the cabinets, kind of get close to the color of the countertops in your drawings, go over that with you, then you can say, well, Richard, let's change this. I'd rather for that door to open the other way, or I want that cabinet to be bigger, that cabinet to be smaller. We can customize it to your needs. You know, it's all about what the customer wants. We want them to be happy when they leave here.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Issacs today at 247-6134.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us here on this Tuesday. One ringy dingy. And let's see what we got going on here. Two ringy dingies.
Hello.
This is Miss Rebecca Hennessy. She's with us live with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Good afternoon, young lady. How are you?
Fine. How you doing?
Just fine. We got the Johnson City Senior Center Foundation Golf Tournament coming up. And tell us about that, would you please?
It's a four-person select shot at Buffalo Valley on October the 9th. We'll have a putting contest prior to the event that is open to anyone, whether you play in the tournament or not. We also have, you can play in the tournament without having to play in the putting contest if you wish. Registration and putting contest will start at 10:30 in the morning, and the putting contest will go to 12:45. We'll have lunch starting around noon by our sponsor, Chick-fil-A, and we'll tee off on the shotgun start at 1 o'clock.
This is a fundraiser, obviously, for the Johnson City Senior Center. Tell me what the money goes for.
The money goes to support supplementary funding at the senior center, such as this year we're working to provide 125 Christmas boxes to seniors in need in the area. Last year, we also purchased a handicapped bus for transportation for the participants. We provide buses, charter buses that take them outside of the city limits and sometimes the state lines where our buses are not allowed to go, to stuff like the Wolfhart Dinner Theater, some places in North Carolina and stuff that they like to do that they can, you know, for a small fee, they can go and enjoy something they normally wouldn't get to do, and we provide the transportation for that.
Awesome stuff. Again, we're talking to Rebecca Hennessy. Again, she's with these folks. And, again, the Johnson City Senior Center Foundation Golf Tournament coming up 2 weeks from Friday. It'll be on the 9th at Buffalo Valley, which the temperatures continue to cool down. Those leaves will start turning out there at Buffalo Valley. It should be a beautiful backdrop for a golf tournament. And so, again, how much does it cost to play? Who do we call to let you know we want to come play?
You can register the day of the tournament, or you can register at the Senior Center at 510 Burt Street, Johnson City, Tennessee, or call 423-434-6237. It's $60 per person, $240 per team.
Now, tell me some things that Johnson City Senior Center does what are some of the programs you offer the seniors in Johnson City?
They offer hiking, exercise, they have fitness classes, they have cardio rehab for people going out of rehab that might need some additional rehab. We also provide in partnership with some other people in the community, we provide a parish nurse on site, anything and everything you can think of, from computers to cards to pool to the billiards, you name it, we've got it. We have a very active senior group. We have hiking groups. We have day trips. We have the senior corral that's provided by partial funding from the foundation and a grant from the Arts Council. So we have a little bit of everything.
Neat stuff. And so by numbers, to be a senior, you got to be what, 50, 55? Is that what qualifies you?
Yes, but it's open. You can still participate. They have different levels. You go by there and talk to the receptionist at the desk on the senior services side. They'll guide you through. We have all ages in the community center. Parks and Rec is on one end and we're on the other, but we mutually share the facility, and there's always events going on, multi-generational events throughout the whole facility. You
must know my buddy David Carmichael. You know Carmichael?
Yes, I do. And he's sitting right there, too, I would say. Hi, David.
I love how you said it. Yes, I do. He's a piece of work. We like him. He's a great guy. So, again, 2 weeks from Friday, again, give her a call. I think I got the number down, 434-6237. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get you back on next week and remind them one more time. We'll do it again next week, all right?
All right, thanks.
Yep, and I'll get back in touch with her. Good job again, Rebecca Hennessy, again from the Johnson City Senior Center, getting ready for that golf tournament. Not this week, but next week on the 9th. Again, 434-6237. Noticed, see, where was I? Oh, I was up at Kermit Tipton Stadium last night. And I noticed, and also we were in Elizabeth this morning taping Sean's show. Coming back, I noticed, I guess it's the maples up on the top of the trees, which I thought was always cool. The trees begin to turn, the leaves always at the top and work their way down. Wonder why they don't start low and go up. I guess the air is cooler. No, that wouldn't be the reason, because heat rises. Wonder why trees begin to change at the top and work their way down, which is what I saw, I guess, is those blaze sunset red maples that turn this bright, vibrant red, and they're beginning to turn. So point being, in 2 more weeks, the temperatures continue to cool. Of course, tomorrow is the first day of autumn tomorrow morning. Comes in about 4 o'clock in the morning. And so tomorrow will be the first day of autumn, 2015. And so next Friday a week, or actually 2 weeks from Friday, would be, I would think, a beautiful, beautiful time to be out there and playing golf. And a great backdrop at Bays, I should say Buffalo Valley Golf Course. 434-6237 is the number to call. 434-6237 to say you want to play golf and to benefit the Johnson City seniors. All right, let's go to the phone. Let's try this quiz show and see how not the quiz show, be called the quiz show, Tom. Thank you. Be the quiz show. Thank you very much. And so we'll try our hand at the quiz show is what I tried to say. 2 ringy-dingies.
Hello.
There's our buddy, Richard Issacs. Where in the world? I missed the old rascal. We didn't get him last week. He was in a meeting, but he's with us today. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I missed you too last week.
Yeah, it's
good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's kind of habit forming. I miss talking to this guy. He's such a class gentleman. Runs a great operation, Kingsport Cabinetry. So before we get into the quiz show, haven't talked to you in 2 weeks. What's been going on at the cabinetry shop? You guys staying busy?
Yeah, we've still been busy. Got called back to do some more stuff for Northeast State, add-on stuff, and trying to get that finished for them. Milligan College has got us doing some stuff, and so it seems like we're in education mode right now, Tom.
Absolutely, and of course that is a compliment. If you start and do something for a school or a business, and they come back and say, "Hey, you did such a good job. Can you do this over here for us?" That's a compliment, is it not?
That's the biggest compliment I can get. That's what Northeast State called us. Said, "We love what you did for us. Would you please come back and do some more?" And we said we would be glad to do that. Yep.
There you go. 292-2854. All right, the calendar says fall tomorrow, day 1 of autumn. The calendar says 93 days to Christmas. Can you still come in there and redo some countertops for residential folks before Christmas?
We're getting close to that because we've got some other projects getting ready to start. So if they are interested in before the holidays, it's time to get it going.
There you go. Do not procrastinate. Snooze, you lose, as they say. So you got to get her going. Let's get this going. Here we go. Oh, boy. Oh, me, oh, my. All right. Getting a little nervous. So, but he's going to do the quiz show with us. All right, let's take it away. What are the categories, by the way? Is it just anything?
Well, we got some sports and some animal trivia today. I know you love that animal trivia, buddy.
There you go. Love the animal trivia. I missed doing this last week with you. So here we go. Question number 1. Take it away, my friend.
All right, question number 1. Let's talk a little bit of football here. Starting off, question number 1, true or false? The term Super Bowl was created by Kansas City Chiefs owner Lamar Hunt. True or false?
Super Bowl was the phrase coined by Lamar Hunt, the Kansas City Chief, the late Lamar Hunt. Oh, gosh, what a great question. Did he coin the term Super Bowl? I'm going to say, what the heck? I'm going to say that is true.
Very good. Hit that bell.
All righty. So I just learned something, okay? Number 2.
Good. All right. Number 2. This another sports question. The Tour de France bicycle race is 2,500 miles long. True or false?
Oh, good grief. The Tour de France is 2,500 miles long. True or false? I know they do it in phases. I have absolutely no clue on this one. None whatsoever. Tour de France, 2,500 miles long. I will say it's a long race. It's a lot of pedaling. Let's see. 2,500 miles. That's a long way. I'll say that's false.
I'll say you're wrong.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's been.
That was sounded mean, didn't it?
Yes, it did. That was not very kind.
That's not like me.
That was not a very kind answer. I would say you're wrong, jarhead. Thank you, Richard.
I'm just so disappointed in you, man. I'm going to go 5 for 5.
Yeah.
You know I'm just joking, buddy. I always go for you.
That was wrong, dipstick. Okay, thank you very much, Richard.
I would say you're wrong. No, it's 2,500 miles. It takes 3 weeks to ride it.
I should have known that.
Why would anybody want to ride a bicycle 2,500 miles?
I don't know. I'm tired thinking about it. So.
Me too. Well, I'm sorry you missed that.
All right,
hey,
number 3. Here we go.
All right, let's dig back. I don't know if you remember this or not. I've been doing this quiz show with you for what, a year or so now?
Yeah.
Over a year.
Oh yeah.
And, but way back, I asked you an animal trivia, and people gave you a hard time about it. So let's do it again, see if you learned anything, okay?
Oh, no.
I dug this one back out.
Oh,
All
no.
right, you remember this. On average, a hen can lay over 200 eggs per year.
On average,
that one?
Nope, I have no clue. That one, nope. On average, a hen can lay 200 eggs. A what?
A year, over 200 eggs a year.
If I get it wrong twice, you will laugh me off this show. True or false? On the average, a hen can lay 200 eggs a year. That's 360. Yeah, I'm going to say it's true.
Very good. You got it.
I said wrong. I said no before.
Huh? Yeah, you said no before.
God, that's pretty stupid. God. I'm an old country boy. I knew that. So, yeah, eggs lay about 200 a year. That'll work. So,
yeah.
Wow.
I
mean, the first time you asked me, I said false.
Yeah, you got it wrong first.
God, that's pretty stupid. Okay, all right.
You're getting smarter.
I'm smart.
All right.
Jethro's getting smarter. All right, number 4.
All right, number 4. I don't know if you remember this one or not, but you said the kids would give you a hard time about this. Number 4, a Tyrannosaurus Rex was a vegetarian. True or false?
T-Rex was a vegetarian. True or false? I would say that is false. I think he ate meat or she ate meat. Is that true or false?
You got it right this time. See, you have learned something over the past.
I'm just
very good. You missed that one last time we did it. That's been over about a year ago, so that's good. You're feeling smarter, aren't you?
Wow, yeah. Been eating my Cheerios and feeling smarter. All right.
That's right. Here we go. Number 5, last one.
Yes, sir.
Birds are cold-blooded. True or false?
Who? Birds?
Birds are cold-blooded.
Birds are cold-blooded. Oh, gosh. Reptiles are birds cold-blooded? Birds are cold-blooded. Birds are cold-blooded. Whew, that's a good one there. It can go either way. I'm going to say that is false. I'm going to say they're warm-blooded.
Hit the bell, buddy.
Hey, all right.
Good job. That's stupid bicycle race. Got you. That was a stupid question.
Yeah, it was a stupid question. I had a stupid answer, so I can't believe I got these other two wrong back earlier when we started doing this. That's not very good, Richard. Because those are pretty easy. The chicken.
I know it. I thought, well, I'm going to dig back and let's go retro on this a little bit. See if Tom learned anything the last year or so. So I'm proud of you, buddy. You did good.
Thank you. I had no clue. I didn't remember those questions. I can tell you that. So, very good. 292-2854. Tell us again how you folks out there hearing us for the first time, and there are some. Tell us what you do and how you can help us.
We'll come in and do whatever you need, kitchen and bath. We can take care of you, buddy. Cabinets, countertops, all that. We've been doing it a long time. We feel like we do a very good job. So if they need anything, you tell them, give us a call.
So typically going into the holidays, you have requests to do what? Countertops, or what do you normally get requests for residential people?
Yeah, most times countertops, sometimes full remodels stuff, but most of the time, a lot of times people think, well, let me try to spruce it up a little bit for the holidays. Don't have to break the bank. You know what I'm saying? Let's change the countertops, put some new hardware on our cabinet, make it look a little better.
There you go. Spiff it up a little bit. That's exactly
That's right.
He does a great job. Obviously, Northeast State's got him working. Milligan College got him working. He's worked at some of the medical facilities around town. But he can help you too with the residential. But you can't wait. You got to give him a call and get going on it, right?
That's right. Let's get it going.
All right, let's hit this music. Richard, you're the best, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Have a great week. All right.
Hey, you have a great week. Always fun talking to you. See you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Likewise. Treasury's Friendship. He's a good guy right there. Our buddy Richard Issacs from Kingsport Cabinetry. Patronize those who patronize the show at 292-2854. 292-2854 is the number to call. I'll be a son of a gun. I went 4 for 5. It's 2 days in a row. I've gone 4 for 5. And, then, of course, last week, hit it. Yeah. Got it. I smoked that Elvis trivia thing. We'll see tomorrow if the Apester's coming back or is she done. Hope she's coming back. I enjoyed talking to her, so I hope that she'll be back with us tomorrow with a brand new round. I think there was a topic she was going to talk to me about doing if in the event I ever got Elvis, and she said you never will, but I did. So let me think. What is it? Was it cartoons? There was something she thought we could do that I wouldn't know much about, and that's probably pretty good. That's a pretty safe bet. So anyway, we'll have one tomorrow. We'll see what Mr. Wyman and the Apester can conjure up tomorrow. One of our great sponsors, Bracken Paving and Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. By the way, 323-8726 is the number to call. 323-8726. Do not tarry. Do not procrastinate. Again, the meter is running. Tomorrow is the first day of fall. And as Tommy told us last week, with the leaves falling, makes it a little bit tougher to lay down the pavement and the asphalt because of the falling leaves. And that can create a little bit of havoc too. So, obviously, the deeper you wait into the fall, the tougher it's going to be to do paving without the leaves falling. So call them, 323-8726. 323-8726 is the number to call. And, again, give them a buzz at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Great bunch of folks, and we appreciate them so very much. And they do a great job. And, again, thanks to Tommy and Spencer and the Apester and all the folks up there that make it go. Well, Jerry Jones, it continues to keep coming out. It's like a PR machine here this afternoon. Just because Tony Romo went down with an injury doesn't mean the season is over in Dallas. As a matter of fact, if you listen to Jerry Jones talk, you might become convinced that the Cowboys can go undefeated over the next 2 months with backup quarterback Brandon Weeden running the show. No. Calling him a gifted passer and saying that his throws are a thing of beauty. Two things that aren't usually associated with Weeden. So he can take the ball down the field. He's a thing of beauty on throwing a football. His passing motion and his arm, frankly, you won't see a more gifted passer. Power, accuracy, the entire aspect of it. If he can basically prepare, be the starting quarterback, come in and execute and keep his head right, then I feel good about Brandon Weeden. Yeah. As a refresher, Jerry. Hey, Jerry, let me tell you somebody. The owner of the Cowboys. How about a little refresher? 22nd overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. He started 6 games over the past 2 years. He's an 0 for. He's 0 for 6 in his 6 games that he started as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Despite that, the Cowboys apparently are comfortable moving forward with Weeden. If the team ends up signing a quarterback this week, that quarterback will not be starting in place of Brandon Weeden. So he's going to be the man for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys in the absence of one Tony Romo. So anyway, be interesting to see how that's going to go. But Romo's out for what we said earlier in the show. May not get back till right around Thanksgiving with that broken collarbone. So now they're looking for Brandon Weeden to lead the team. 22nd pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. He has started 6 games over the past 2 years, and he is 0-6 in those games, which my West Virginia math would tell me that is not a good batting average. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're working our way through this Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. More from our studio right after you hear this on a Tuesday, September the 22nd.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the crossings in North Johnson City.
Trucks, 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 and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
Saw Mr. Copenhagen last night, as a matter of fact. Great guy, great gentleman. Runs a great dealership, I can tell you that. Wow. Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 22nd, countdown to Christmas, 93 days. Our show, we are setting on go for show number 144. Of course, tomorrow will be show number 145. Looking forward to being with you tomorrow again and a full show and ready to go. As we told you, let's take a look at Major League Baseball here. The pennant races, games from yesterday. Let's run them down for you. It was in the American League. It was Chicago defeating Detroit 2-0. Toronto head-to-head beat the Yankees 4-2. That would put the Blue Jays now with a little bit of breathing room at 3.5 over the Yankees. Game 2 of that series, again, coming up tonight. Second game of the doubleheader, Chicago beats Detroit 3-2. Also in the American League, Boston over Tampa Bay 8-7. It was Houston defeating Los Angeles 6-3. Also in the American League, Baltimore and Washington got postponed in interleague play. In the National League, it was the Reds blowing another lead. They got beat 2-1. They led 1-0 They scored the run in the top of the first inning in St. Louis and got to the ninth inning and lost it 2-1 as they played 2 in the bottom of the eighth through the Cardinals and win it. The Reds just, man, they're pitiful. Braves lose to the Mets 4-0. Mets magic number down to 7 now for the pennant. Cardinals have already clinched, by the way, in the National League pennant race. Cubbies beat Milwaukee 9-5. You had Pittsburgh beating Colorado 9-3, and the Dodgers Arizona doubles up the Dodgers 8-4 in Major League Baseball. So with that, what are the standings like as we head into action today? Daniel Norris again on the mound tonight for the Detroit Tigers, taking on the White Sox in Detroit in the Motor City. In the American League East, Toronto, as we said, by 3.5 over the Yankees. In the Central, it is Kansas City all the way. In the American League West, still tight. Texas only by a game now over Houston in the American League West as they went back and forth over the last couple of weeks as far as leading that division. In the National League, it is the Mets by 6.5. In the Central, Cardinals lead Pittsburgh by 4. They've already clinched. And the National League West is the Dodgers with a 7-game lead over San Francisco. So since we last checked in on the wild card, which was Friday, let's see what the wild card looks like. Pretty much the same teams. Yep. Yankees and Houston and maybe Minnesota in the American League, and Pittsburgh and the Cubbies definitely are the 2 teams in for the wild card in the National League. With only a couple of weeks or so left in the Major League Baseball season, we are winding this thing down pretty quick is what I wanted to say. And again, Major League Baseball, the schedule goes as follows: Baltimore at Washington, the Yankees and Toronto again tonight in Canada, White Sox in Detroit. Daniel Norris 2-2 on the hill for the Detroit Tigers out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Tampa Bay at Boston tonight, Cleveland and Minnesota, Angels at Houston. Seattle continues their series in Kansas City, and Texas will take on the Oakland Athletics on the left coast in California. In the National League, it'll be Atlanta at New York to battle the Mets again. Philadelphia at Miami. Milwaukee will be in Wrigley to battle the Cubbies in a night game tonight. Cincinnati at St. Louis. Pittsburgh at Colorado. Arizona against the Dodgers in L.A. And San Francisco will play San Diego. And that's the Major League Baseball schedule. And again, a wild card at this point. I think Pittsburgh and the Cubbies are pretty much a lock in the National League. In the American League, the Yankees and Houston are in, and I would have to throw in Minnesota, maybe the Los Angeles Angels. They may be, too. The Angels may be a chance for them to get in, too. But definitely in the National League, you would definitely go with the Pirates and the Chicago Cubs for pretty much a lock, I would think, for those 2 teams to move on into postseason play, which is pretty exciting. If you're a Cubbies fan, it's been a while since you've been in this position, so I would think you'd be somewhat elated about the fact that you're going to be heading on into the chance to play in postseason. In fact, here's a story. The National League Central making a claim as the best division in Major League Baseball history. All right, now why would you say it? We got Cardinals with 94 wins, Pittsburgh with 90 wins, the Cubs with 88 wins. Okay, pretty strong. Again, 94-56, the Cardinals, Pittsburgh at 90-60, the Cubbies at 88-62. Best 3 records in the major leagues all come from the same division, the National League Central. At their current pace, the Cardinals could win 102 games, the Pirates 97, the Cubs 95. So these 3 teams aren't playing each other. They have it pretty easy these days. What if 3 teams from the same division all end up with at least 95 wins? It would be only the second time in baseball history that would have happened back in 1977. 100 win for the Yankees, 97 wins for the Orioles, and 97 wins for the Red Sox. So, in fact, here's another stat for you. If the Cardinals and the Pirates and the Cubs do hold on to the top 3 records in baseball, it would be the first time in Major League Baseball history a division has pulled it off. So there you go. But, again, that's a lot of what-ifs. There's other teams out there playing every night, trying to do the same thing, win games. So, again, we'll have to wait and see. But it's a pretty strong division. Cardinals, Pittsburgh, and Chicago. Of course, you have the lowly Reds and the lowly Milwaukee Brewers to finish it up. And so, again, reminding you one more time, Daniel Norris is on the hill tonight, and he will go against the Chicago White Sox in a 7:08 first pitch. Again, Norris 2-2 on the season. South Carolina, breaking news, college football. Again, we told you earlier that Auburn will start a new quarterback Saturday, and they're going to do that because he ain't getting it done. The coach, again, saying new quarterback for Auburn against Mississippi State on Saturday night. Steve Spurrier announcing his third different starting quarterback in 4 games on Saturday. True freshman Lorenzo Nunez moves up from a change-of-pace player to the Gamecocks' #1 option. We're going to let him play, Spurrier told reporters. Other quarterbacks probably play some over the course of the game. It just depends on how the game goes. Lorenzo gives us a little spark in there that we don't have offensively. Of course, preseason starter Connor Mitch out at least another month while dealing with a shoulder injury and complications with a hip injury that got so bad the redshirt sophomore was hospitalized with an internal infection. Then you have Perry Orth, the #2 quarterback, completing just 6 of 17 passing attempts for 66 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception against Georgia. And so Orth received 35 snaps. Nunez had 23 snaps. He obviously played against Georgia. And most of Nunez's work involved design runs or option plays. So South Carolina 1-2, a 14.5-point favorite against Central Florida. So, and also a breaking story on that, Central Florida just kicked William Standback off the team, the best offensive player they had, so that's not a good sign. So Central Florida at 0-3 will roll into Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia on Saturday, 0-3 without their best running back who just got kicked off the team minutes ago, William Standback. And so South Carolina will have a, probably even more now, but at this point at least a 14.5-point favorite against Central Florida. And again, new quarterback Lorenzo Nunez will start for the South Carolina Gamecocks on Saturday against Central Florida, again in Columbia, South Carolina. If you missed the show earlier today, congratulations to the Science Hill boys golf team. They, with Jack Ray shooting a 68, Garrett Whitfield shooting a 70, Mason Williams a 78, Jacob Turner a 79, and David Simonson an 83. They win the AAA Boys Regional Golf Championship. Will take the whole team down to Manchester, Tennessee next week. So congratulations to Science Hill. And again, that was on the boys' side. For the ladies, it was Dobbins Minute all the way. A 10-stroke win over the Lady Hilltoppers of Science Hill. Haverly Howard shot a 73. Katarina Scott shot a 75. And Madison Lockhart shot a 102 for Dobbins Minute. Only 3 girls on that team, released yesterday anyway. And so they win the girls' championship, the regional championship. Both played again at, Patriot Hills Golf Club in Jefferson City, Tennessee. High school football, who's playing where this Friday night? Thursday night game should be a dandy. Oak Ridge at Sevier County. On Friday, Chucky Doak plays at Sullivan North. Cloudland and Hampton. Cog County will be at Campbell County. You have Elizabeth and Tennessee High. That'll be a good one. Elizabeth at 3-1. Tennessee High at 4-1. Granger at Claiborne County Friday night. Hancock County at Cosby. Happy Valley at Unaka. Hardin Valley will be at Knox Powell. Oneida at Gatlinburg Pittman. Science Hill will be at Daniel Boone. And Sullivan East at Seymour. Dobbins Minute has the week off here in the region, among other teams. In Southwest Virginia, Castlewood at Rye Cove. Gate City at Union. J.I. Burton at Twin Springs on Friday night. John Battle plays at Patrick Henry. Lee High at Ridgeview. Thomas Walker at Eastside. And Y Central at Lebanon on Friday. Our broadcast again starts at 7 o'clock from Nathan Hill Stadium at Daniel Boone High School. It'll be the Hilltoppers of Stacy Carter, again with the ranking out this week. Hilltoppers dropped from number 4 down to number 9 in the state. They will take on Daniel Boone, a winless football team, but a dangerous football team. That's not hype. You go back and look what they've done and how they've done it. They've been in every ball game, losing tough ones to Sullivan South. They lost a tough one to Tennessee High. They lost a tough one to Cherokee. And they lost the 4th game, which was a tough one, to the Elizabethton Cyclones. So pretty good football team, maybe the best 0-4 team if you're looking for a moral victory. And I promise you, Jeremy Jenkins is not. He don't roll that way. He wants the W, and you got to respect him for that. But for us media boys, probably the best 0-4 football team out there is Daniel Boone, and could be a very dangerous team. It's a big backyard rivalry. It's the county versus the city. There's some history in these two teams playing each other, to say the least, and so it'll be a chance to pull off the upset. It could be his season for Jeremy Jenkins if he could knock off the 9th-ranked team in the state in 6A football, the Science Hill Hilltoppers. So obviously that'll be what he's going after, and that'll be his modus operandi come Friday night. 7:30 will be the kickoff. We'll go on air with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show, and that will start at 7 o'clock. We'll have that for you again with, let's see, who's got Cody Helton, Kevin Harmon, and yours truly. Got some guys off this week, doing some vacation, doing some work, so we'll hope to have the whole entourage coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So, but right now it'll be Cody and Kevin and myself on Friday night from Daniel Boone High School, which we're looking forward to, needless to say. And it'll be a fun time, great football weather looks like it's going to be coming up later on in the week. Again, Auburn benching Jeremy Johnson. Earlier in the show we told you that, naming Sean White the starting quarterback. Lorenzo Nunez will be the starting quarterback for the South Carolina Gamecocks on Saturday against Central Florida. Of course, Auburn will come back home and entertain, as we said. They'll take on the Bulldogs, is that correct, of Mississippi State? Yes, at 7:30 on Saturday in Auburn, Alabama. And so that'll be a big, big football game for the Auburn Tigers with a brand-new quarterback back there, Jeremy Johnson. Now, again, being benched, and Sean White will be the new and good one now, apparently. He wouldn't be there if he wasn't. Will be the new starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers. All right? We'll take a quick break. We'll talk a little hunting. Deer season right around the corner. A lot of deer stands. A lot of folks, you got to watch what you're doing with the deer stand. You got to be very, very careful. And so we'll talk a little hunting and fishing, or not so much fishing, but hunting, coming up here in just a minute as we work our way through this Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll do that right after you hear this. We'll talk a little hunting and got some more sports to pass on to you. So come back with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Trucks, 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 and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7, and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again for a few more minutes, again on this Tuesday, September the 22nd, 2015. I want to clean up a little bit real quick the baseball desk, and we were talking baseball a few minutes ago. Billy Hamilton for the Reds undergoing arthroscopic shoulder surgery later this week. Season over for the Reds speedster. Again, missing the last 6 starts after re-injuring his shoulder. leads the major leagues with 57 stolen bases. While he said team doctors examined Hamilton on Saturday, found no structural damage, but the general manager said it's best to get the procedure done now, so Hamilton will be ready for spring training. So Billy Hamilton gone for the rest of the year for just a disastrous year for the Cincinnati Reds. Man, they are a bad, bad baseball team. Cardinals all-star catcher Yadier Molina has a partially torn ligament in his left thumb. St. Louis hopes he might be ready to go during the regular season. He injured it again over the weekend against the Cubs as he was trying to attempt to tag a Cubs scoring the tying run on a fly ball on Sunday. And so Cardinals also clearing right-hander Adam Wainwright. Torn Achilles heel for baseball activities. May have him back in time for the playoffs. They've clinched, of course, as we told you earlier. So Molina has a partially torn ligament in his thumb. Hopes to be back before the season's over, being reevaluated later this week or early next week. Missed about 2 months with a torn ligament in his right thumb last season. So trying to get him back and Billy Hamilton to get on the shelf for the rest of the year for the Cincinnati Reds. Also, NASCAR, Kevin Harvick, we told you yesterday where race happened. Johnson bumped him, cut a tire, hit the wall. He was out. And so afterwards, Johnson went back to the motorhome with Harvick, trying to settle things down and beat on the door of the motorhome, and down the steps he came and punched him. Now, they said it was a shove. I went back and watched the video like Dave Angie told us yesterday, one of our guests. It wasn't a shove. He hit him full bore. He popped him in the chest pretty good. And so cooler heads try to prevail. Again, they separated one with another. I guess they were traveling with an entourage, or Johnson was. So they separated him, and then he lunged at him again, did Kevin Harvick. So not a happy camper. And so as the contact crumpled some sheet metal and pushed it against Harvick's left rear wheel for 2 laps, the tire smoking from the friction. Harvick tried to get that sheet metal to give. It didn't, and the tire exploded. Harvick crashed into the wall and finished 42nd out of 43 cars. He is dead last now in the 16-driver chase field. And as we said, he tried to approach Harvick's motorhome to attempt a conversation, and it didn't go good. And so they're going to try and settle things down and be cool about it. Harvick's will arrive in New Hampshire later this week with a much cooler head. He has no choice. He's got to either win one of the next 2 races or be as close to perfect as possible to continue his chase. The field will be whittled down to 12 after next weekend and at Dover, and then Harvick needs to find a win in the second round. He's the one driver no one should doubt can do this. But again, Harvick has to chill out. He got caught up in the heat of the moment, and that's totally understandable. So now he has to chill and focus on winning this weekend as they go to New Hampshire for the, the Sylvania 300. Yep, and it'll be coming up on Sunday at 2 o'clock in New Hampshire. But again, Harvick is rock bottom dead last. So trying to find the stats of the leaderboard, and here it is. The leaders right now through September the 20th, Matt Kenseth on top of the leaderboard, which is interesting because Hamlin won the race, but Hamlin's in. He'll move on out of the second round of the competition. Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, and Kyle Busch. Top 4 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Kurt Busch 5th, Joey Logano 6th, Jimmy Johnson currently 7th, Ryan Newman 8th, Brad Keselowski 9th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 10th. Then comes Martin Truex, Jeff Gordon, Jamie McMurray, Paul Menard, Clint Bowyer, and Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 16 in the chase, and that's how they'll line up. When they line up, I should say, the points over the weekend on Sunday in Loudon, New Hampshire will show the way for Matt Kenseth to be on top of the leaderboard by only 2 points. He's only 2 points better than Denny Hamlin. So Hamlin won that first race. He is ready to move on and has moved on with that win to the next round of competitions. That's an early leader heading to the chase, is Denny Hamlin at FedEx Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Got a couple of minutes left here. As we head into the deer season, you'll start seeing tragic stories, unfortunately, of hunters falling from their tree stands and losing their life or becoming seriously injured while hunting from a tree stand. There are various types and brands of tree stand harnesses that range from about $35 to $100. Also, most tree stands now come with a harness, so you can likely already have one or can bum one off a friend who just bought a stand. It is important if you're going to be hunting, in particular deer hunting, to use a total full body harness and be aware of how to use it, because even if it prevents you from falling to the ground, hanging there for hours can be hazardous. So And here's something interesting. I didn't know this because I don't hunt. If you have a harness, check the expiration date. Manufacturers stamp them with a 5-year expiration, especially if exposed to weather or abuse. The materials can degrade to the point they can't completely prevent your fall. So, again, if you're going to be out deer hunting and you get, in fact, a harness, check the date. If it's not new, check the harness and make sure that it's currently, it's not expired to the date. So, anyway, that's some tips on going to do some deer hunting with a deer stand, obviously. Double check the weight limit. If you're over 250 pounds, be sure to check the weight limit. Most are rated to 3 or 350, but some fall short of that. So that's the other thing. Make sure it's the right weight limit. If you're going to use it for a tree stand, make sure it matches your weight, which is kind of a no-brainer. But you'd be surprised how many people will go in and order something that they're just too big for. And as a result, they have problems pretty quickly. So, again, make sure that you check your weight. Make sure you know what you weigh before you go in and do just that. And that would, of course, be a smart thing. What else going on in sports? Again, we told you. Now, here's the story. I want to touch on this before we get out of here. We've got a few minutes left on the show. And the story about the ex-tennis pro James Blake. I don't know if you've been following this story, but he apparently was arrested, was treated rather rudely, I might add, in this scenario in New York City. Ex-tennis pro James Blake. Here we go. I want to read this story. This is good stuff. There's something way missing about this story, and I can't figure out what it is, and I don't spend a whole lot of time reading on it. But former tennis pro James Blake, who was thrown to the ground by a plainclothes policeman outside a hotel and mistakenly arrested, emerged from a meeting with the mayor and public commissioner on Monday, saying they were on the same page about the need for lasting change. Now, he was ranked as high as number 4 in the world before retiring from tennis after 2013. Was misidentified by a cooperating witness as being part of a scheme to sell fraudulently purchased merchandise before he was tackled and handcuffed on September the 9th. He mistaken for a crime suspect who looks just like him. Now, the arresting officer, James Frascatori, has been placed on desk duty. Been with the New York Police Department now for 4 years, has been named in several civil rights lawsuits alleging excessive force. He's also been the subject of 4 civilian complaints, an above-average number for an NYPD officer. So, I don't get it. Why is he standing outside the hotel? I mean, let's face it, New York City, it's a sea of people. Why him? And why do they look? I mean, I see what they're saying. They thought he was a cooperating witness as being part of a scheme to sell fraudulently purchased merchandise, but did he have merchandise in his hands? Was he just standing there leaning up against the wall? I mean, all the people, if you look at a typical day in New York City, all the people coming and going, they're like ants. So what tipped the police off to go tackle this guy? See, that's the part nobody's saying. It just doesn't seem normal to me just to go, hey, let's go get him. So, and again, they're saying that he was mistaken as being part of a scheme to sell fraudulently purchased merchandise before he was tackled and handcuffed on September the 9th. Police said he was mistaken for a crime suspect who looks just like him. Now, here's a little added twist on the police officer that did this. The arresting officer, James Frascatori, has been with the NYPD for 4 years, has been named in several, being the key word, several civil rights lawsuits alleging excessive force. Also been the subject of 4 civilian complaints, an above-average number for an NYPD officer, according to the complaint data. So, I don't get it. Blake's arrest was caught on a surveillance camera and prompted apologies from folks in and around the situation, including Democratic Mayor Bill de Blasio. Gets an apology from him. And also Police Commissioner William Bratton. So, anyway, with the culture in this country such as it is, how would I say this? I mean, if you don't want to get in trouble or not even making the appearance that you're in trouble or looking for trouble, then avoid it. I mean, why is he standing out in front? Nobody's ever said. Maybe just be minding his own business. But, again, of all the people coming and going, why did they single out James Blake and tackle him to the ground? So Blake's arrest was caught on surveillance camera and prompted apologies. Blake has said the officer should be fired, but following the meeting he said he understands due process, the fact he has rights in the court. So I mean, you can't just arbitrarily go, you ought to fire him. And I guess you can, but in this day and age, all the I's got to be dotted and the T's got to be crossed. And in this case, James Blake met with the New York mayor and the police commissioner trying to get this thing resolved and trying to get a good positive spin on a rather interesting situation, to say the least. Tom Taylor Sports Show, got a few minutes left here. Out of Knoxville, the rape trial of former Tennessee cornerback Michael Williams rescheduled for October the 26th. It was slated to begin September the 29th, but again, another motion for continuance was granted yesterday, and so the October 26th trial date was set for Monday, and so it was originally set to go on trial August the 24th, but it was moved back so lawyers for Williams and Johnson could obtain cell phone and social media communications with certain witnesses. It was rescheduled again because all those communications have not been acquired as of yet. So there you go. That's happening with the cornerback Michael Williams, and that's happening the rape trial on Williams in K-Town in Knoxville, Tennessee. Boy, we've covered a lot of things today. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, here's one. Southeastern Conference record. Now, think of all the quarterbacks that played football in the Southeastern Conference. There's been some dandies down through the years. I mean, good ones. And there's some good ones there now. But the best so far has been the transfer, Grayson Lambert. Set NCAA, Southeastern Conference, and Georgia records by completing 96% of his passes against South Carolina. They made him look real good. Lambert was 24 out of 25 for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns. Lambert is on target with 20 passes in a row, setting another school record. Completed 20 straight, just sat back and picked apart the South Carolina defense, apparently. And so he set an NCAA, Southeastern Conference, and Georgia records by completing 96% of his passes against South Carolina, which is not an easy team to play. They always play very, very tough. And so I guess that's a real testament to Mark Richt and the Georgia program, and in this case, Georgia's Grayson Lambert. As he said, NCAA, Southeastern Conference, and Georgia passing records on Saturday of last week in the win over the South Carolina Gamecocks of one Steve Spurrier. Our final break coming up right now. We'll come back and begin to wind this thing down again on this Tuesday of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And we'll do that right after you hear this from our good friends. Let's see, who do we want to start with today? We got a whole bunch of good folks, and we appreciate them very, very much. And I'm thinking probably this one right here. This would be our buddy Tommy and Spencer and the Apester and the kids at Bracken Paving, one of our great sponsors here, and Asphalt Maintenance, I might add, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Plus, it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen. We've got you covered.
Back on the Tom Taylor Show for a few more minutes here. We'll have this up for you, ready to go later on this evening, courtesy of our buddy Cody Help. Back tomorrow from 11 to 2, full show. Before we get out of here, not this Friday, but next Friday, remember, that's the day you can get your tickets to the Battle of Bristol. Remember we told you about this last week? The lottery next Friday, October the 2nd, the date of Battle Friday is what it's being called. Not this Friday, but next Friday. Opportunity to provide our local community a chance to get tickets. And so how does this work? The price of grandstand tickets will range next Friday and Friday only from $40 up to $140. Jerry Caldwell said those prices are in line with several bowl games, but far cheaper, and he's right, than national championship game tickets. So that'll be coming up next, as we said, next Friday. And there'll be folks beginning to camp out for this, and it's going to be crazy up here next Friday morning when they open the ticket office. The Battle of Bristol, billed as college football's biggest game ever. Jerry Caldwell said it was important to keep tickets at a reasonable price, and he's right. And so you'll be able to stand in line, and it'll be it's going to be interesting up there next week, to as we said, to say the least. What did I read? I was trying to think. I want to say you're allowed 4 tickets per family, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here it is. Let's go ahead and highlight that because that's very, very important. Announcing Thursday a plan for tickets to be sold for one day at the track. That'll be on October the 3rd, next Friday. And so I'm scanning down through this story here. I want to make sure I said this right. Yeah, 4 per person. 4 tickets per person. So that's what's going on. Friday, October the 2nd, Battle Friday, next Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be ready to roll at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's not that far away, and, boy, the way things are shaping up, could be a heck of a football game next year, the way these two teams continue to build and recruit and get better. And so next year, we're inside of a year now to the football game of all football games, the Battle at Bristol. And, again, those tickets will be on sale. That one-day event coming up, as we said, next Friday, October the 3rd, at Bristol Motor Speedway. We're about out of time for this show. What do we want to say thanks to? Let's see, our guest today will be Kevin Vanhill, the golf coach from Science-O High School. Again, the boys won the regional championship. The girls in Dobbins won the AAA regional championship, heading off as a team. Both of those are to the state tournament next week in Manchester, Tennessee. Zach Nave joined us, the national championship cycling coach from Milligan College. Good job by Zach, and he joined us early in the show. Rebecca Hennessy talking about that golf tournament coming up on October the 9th. That'll be happening at Buffalo Valley Golf Club to help out the Johnson City Senior Center, which is a cool place for seniors to go and hang out and be friends and build relationships. And here's a chance to play a little golf at Buffalo Valley Golf Club for that. And that'll be happening on October the 9th. Appreciate her. And also our buddy Richard Issacs from Kingsport Cabinetry. And Richard, of course, with the quiz show where I went 4 for 5. That stupid Tour de France question, I should say. Tour de France was the question that got me. And it was, how long is the race? And he said 2,500 miles, and I said wrong, and it was right, and it's the only one I missed. So back-to-back days of going 4 for 5. And I think the Apester, I got a text that we're going to continue it. Yep, there we go. Music or cartoons will be the new category that she'll try and stump me on tomorrow. It's not going to happen, but we'll give it a whirl because she said she'd do on Elvis, and I finally caught up and got Elvis. It was tough. Name of his pet turkey was Bow Tie. That's what got me over. I'll never forget that long as I live. So we'll start a new segment of the quiz show tomorrow with our buddy the Apester and Tommy Wyman. It's either going to be music or cartoons, and she said that's a plan, Stan. Lawsy mercy, lawsy mercy. So anyway, that's what's going on again for tomorrow, Wednesday's show. We're going to pack this bad boy up and get rolling. We'll rejoin you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And this is our 93rd day before Christmas, by the way. Countdown as of today at 93 days. Our show number 144. Again, we would ask you to call the Apester at Bracken Asphalt Maintenance or Bracken Paving and get yourself on the list. Tomorrow's the first day of autumn. Comes in tomorrow morning about 4:21, I believe it is, in the morning. First day of fall. That tells you that your chances to get your driveway or parking lot sealed or paved for the cold weather and the rain and everything kicks in here that it's going to, of course, when it gets here. We've been told it's going to be a rough winter. I don't know that other than to say that the acorns out there that I see, or the oak trees, the acorns would appear to me be much more thick. I know the squirrels are having a buffet around here, enjoying the acorns, so I think for that reason alone it may be true. So it could be a rough winter. You need to make sure your driveway and your parking lot is sealed and ready for the weather coming up for the fall and certainly the winter. And you need to do that like now because the time is running out for you to have your driveway sealed and or paved by the folks at Bracken Paving and Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. 323-8726 is that number to call, by the way. 323-8726. Talk to the lovely Apester. She'll take care of you. Book your appointment with one Thomas Weinman to come by and give you a quote in the little yellow truck. Hey, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Back in the saddle tomorrow at 11 o'clock. This will be up on podcast later today on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher phone app, and YouTube. So give us a listen tonight. A lot of folks do in the evening, driving home from work or just later on tonight, and then kick back and listen to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. As always, we'll tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours, and we'll rejoin you tomorrow at 11 o'clock right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. For all of our guests and for your host, that would be moi, we say win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for giving us a listen. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and so long, everybody.